This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
All right, yes, sir. We are ready to rock and roll. All right, it's the kind of Monday that we don't really want, right? We'd like a Monday where we're coming off and we're talking about all the kind of sports that are going on, and, you know, the Heat played and the Panthers played and the Marlins are getting ready for spring and all this good stuff. And just unfortunately, we're stuck. We're stuck in the middle, kind of. You know, that's really what's going on, unfortunately. So welcome aboard another another morning.
Ghost town.
Yes.
Ghost town out there.
Yeah. Well, I still think it's going to get worse. Okay? And this is not fear-mongering or any of that stuff. We don't have massive testing. And when we do get massive testing, we're going to find out about a whole bunch of people that are walking around. Like, I'm watching this weekend, right? And we're allowing spring break to take place. And I'm watching thousands of kids out on the street in South Beach and in Fort Lauderdale, and I'm thinking to myself, like, what the hell are we doing? Right? And I post this on Twitter, and some idiot's like, well, you know, young people aren't that susceptible to it. I go, moron, young people become carriers, and they bring it to the older folks and kill the older folks. So, yes, plenty will survive, but the problem is you may give it to somebody that will not survive. And then you may not know about it, but how about if you do end up finding out that you ended up killing somebody accidentally? Right? Not a good thing, right?
The longer that people are getting this, with the dormant thing of possibly 11 days, coupled with 14 posts locked up, that's 25 days. The more people that get it, the longer this is. You know what I mean?
It's going to get worse.
It's
going to get way worse. Way worse, okay? I mean, it just is. Look at the market. The market just crashed again. You know, of course it's going to happen. And, you know, here's the thing that we're having. The part that people have to understand is, and you have to stop this, there is no overreacting. Now, fighting over toilet paper in a store, that's overreacting. That part, we got to have more common decency there. But anybody that wants to stock up on water, that's not stupid. You want to stock up on food, that's not stupid. You want to buy a mask, that's not stupid. You want to wear gloves. I saw... I think it was Mike DePasquale. He was doing news because now, you know, the sports guys and girls, they've got him doing news now because there isn't a lot of sports going on. So he's at Walmart, and this lady is getting off, and she put on her gloves to go into Walmart. That's not overreacting. Look, let me explain something to all of you out there. When a hurricane's coming, you prepare, right? Well, every year around this time, you should start preparing for hurricane season. There's no such thing as overreacting for a hurricane. There's no such thing as overreacting for a virus that's taking over the planet. A virus that the CDC is telling you we got to stop letting it spread because it's going to get really, really, really bad. And finally, the Miami Beach and Fort Lauderdale officials, they came to their senses and they started closing down the beaches. Wow, really? Damn. How smart is that? I mean, we're cutting concerts. We're cutting sporting events. The idea is we don't want a bunch of people being together. I'm watching a video on Friday of the cops at South Beach and a whole bunch of kids that are, you know, just I don't know, just going off a little bit or whatever. And I'm watching, and they're all in bikinis and bathing suits and whatever, and they're all next to each other. And it's like, all right, social distancing. Boy, that's really working over there. Come on, man. You look at the beaches, they're packed. People went to Disney World this weekend. They jam-packed Disney World. Really? That's what you want to do? You want to be in line with thousands of other people, sweating, humidity all over the place, people sneezing and wheezing and coughing and everything else? That's where you want to go? The logic here is amazing to me. It really is. The idea is to try to stay away from groups of people. I get it. You got to see some family members, a friend, whatever. Okay, I get it. But more often than not, you don't want to go where there's 400 people hanging out, 4,000 people hanging out, or 400,000 people hanging out in Walt Disney World, where they're all touching the same rails.
What happened? I thought Disney had shut down, and Universal was right behind them.
Last night.
Finally. Okay.
Right, that's what they like gave you till yesterday, and now they're shut down.
You know what it was?
People actually went and packed Disney World.
You know what? Can I tell you?
Do you know how asinine that is?
Oh, you know what that was? That was spring break. That was.
No, I get it.
And the kids and we know the kids are off of school, so we could go on our passes and get a quick weekend in because we're going to be on lock, right?
Right. Yes, I get it, but you'll be on lockdown with the coronavirus now.
Exactly.
Do you know how many thousands?
Thank you, Mickey Mouse.
You know how many thousands of people are walking around with the coronavirus? Do you have any idea? We've talked about it over and over. 2.2 people you will affect every time you catch it, on average. So think about this. We haven't had massive testing yet, and we have all kinds of cases that pop up every day now. Every day, the cases pop up. Why do you think they pop up? And we keep letting people out. It's amazing.
Compound it. People that are, like, usually not in the public, on private flights, this basketball players, people in movies, right, that aren't in the public have gotten it. So that means the public is even more exposed, right?
Everybody's exposed, man.
Exactly.
Everybody's exposed. And there's no over-preparing for this, okay? This jerky here has learned one thing about me. I'm over-prepared for every show. Every show I do, I've got way too many things to talk about, but that's kind of the idea. There's nothing – over-preparing should never, ever be criticized. It's like the dumbest thing in the world to tell somebody, oh, you're over-preparing. Okay, well, I'm better off that I'm over-prepared. Since you're under-preparing, you'll be screwed, okay? Because then when it gets worse, you're the one without any food. You're the one without any water. You're the one without anything in your freezer. Why? Because you didn't take it serious. Oh, and by the way, you're the one with corona because you didn't take it serious. I could be walking around with corona right now, and I don't know it. I don't have a test. I can't get it. Heidi Klum, I read the other day, she wanted to get a test because she was feeling the symptoms. I can't imagine if I had shortness of breath and I had a fever and I mean, I would be really worried. I'd be really concerned. Do I have it? Because then you got to think about this. I live with my wife and my daughter, right? And then my wife goes to see her mother-in-law. So if I give it to my wife, then she gives it to my mother-in-law, who's in her 70s. Guess what's on my mind now? Okay? So that's what I'm trying to tell you. It's not a matter – I think I'll survive it. I'm actually not one of the ones at risk. I thought maybe because of my stents, he's more at risk than I am because he's got asthma. But I'll survive it. Most of us will survive it.
With the wife and the baby being in school.
Right.
Every day they're with.
Well, no, they're not in school anymore. There's no school.
No.
So,
but I'm saying
yeah. No, they were.
You know?
Oh, it was getting spread around in school. While we had school on, that's it. I mean, it's going to spread. It's going to spread. And I'm not trying to fear monger or nothing like that. I'm trying to actually bring you into reality. I get it. Some of you are tools. And it's like watching our president. The guy comes on the press conference yesterday to brag about the feds dropping in a point. That's all he cares about. Then he walks out, and then they start talking about the real problems. Like, you shouldn't give a rat's ass about the feds going down 1 point. That doesn't help us right now with the coronavirus. You know what I mean? That kind of stuff. And then he comes out and says, well, we've got a good handle on this. And then Fauci, okay, the head of the CDC, the guy that we all are, he's saying the worst is yet to come. One idiot says, oh, yeah, we've got a good handle on this. The experts are telling you the worst is yet to come, because of course it is. Remember, folks, we didn't go on lockdown like China. We're not on lockdown like Italy. That's how you really flatten the curve. When you don't allow people out, that you can only go out to get some food. You can only go out to get medicine or medical help. Outside of that, you should not be out on the street. That's what you should be doing. As much as possible, stay out of the streets. I did not go out at all this weekend. At all. I'm trying not to go out as much as possible. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense right now. All right, let's get a little roll call going here. John Rouse, it says, Big O early today. Yes, today we wanted to start a little earlier today. Flipside Fishing, good morning, O. How did you like Hunters? I have not seen Hunters yet. I will probably give it a go sometime this week. I will admit, man, I have done so much music YouTubing. It's not even funny. Just seeing bands and concerts and classic stuff. I just love it, man. I just love it. It's freaking phenomenal. Last night I did it for hours. The night before, on Saturday night, I was up till 3 a.m. watching videos on YouTube. It's great, man.
That's like back in the day.
Yes, yeah. It's just like I'm total MTV.
When you were afternoon.
I'm just an MTV child. Yes. Videos and live concerts and interviews and documentaries and all that. I have delved so much into music the last couple of days on YouTube.
Did you almost go to
so
Napster?
awesome.
Did you almost go to Napster
I
to
wish
start
I could.
burning stuff and
I wish I
maybe
could.
hit Nero to burn it on a CD?
I wish I could. I wish I could. Go Gators says hello. Special Needs Fitness Guru says Big O, the Dolphins should have signed Tannehill, man. He had an awesome season, a really high QB rating. He protects the football. Yeah, that's good. We'll get into that funny subject soon. Blessings, O and Bill and friends of the show from Drubo. Big O, your faucet still works. No need to buy water. Yeah, but you need the Brita filter and you need all that. I don't know about you, John, but I don't drink straight out of the tap, my brother. I don't care what they tell me about that water. I'm not drinking straight out of that tap, bro.
This is not back in the day when we were kids and just go to the hose, right?
Yeah, no, hell no.
Time out, everybody take a break, go hit the hose.
No, hell no. And in those days, we had lead pipes all over the place too, by the way. Let's see, what else do we need? John says, stay home, use your water, don't go out. Guillermo Arauz says, good morning, boys. Crazy times. I'm a tech visiting a bunch of clients today. Being extra careful today. Got gloves, hand sanitizer, etc. Exactly, bro. That's the way to do it. Ty in the Bronx says, Big O and Bill, good morning, fellas. Good morning. Gordon Smith is laughing his ass out loud. Facts, Big O. Thank you, Gordon. Let's see, what else do we have here? There's nothing wrong with tap water. Actually, it always tests better than bottled water. Does it really? You gotta show me that. I turn on my tap, I hit that water, and then compare it and make sure. I gotta see like physical proof of that. If not,
hold on, no, there is one.
John, I'm staying with Fiji.
We all know.
All right, I'm going Fiji.
Ready?
What?
Dasani. Basically, Fort Lauderdale, Broward County water out of the, that's filtered for Coca-Cola, right?
Oh, you mean
Dasani.
Fort Sewardale?
You remember that?
Are you talking about Fort
Yes.
Sewardale?
Well,
You want water from Fort Sewardale?
Dasani. You remember?
Fort Sewardale.
That's what they were
Okay.
doing.
All right. Sorry, Fort Lauderdale, but you got busted pipes every week. you got crap all over the streets. So I got to call you Fort Sewardale until proven otherwise. Anyway, let's see. What else do we have? People are really going to start dying, Gordon Smith says. It's going to get worse. Of course it is. Of course it's going to get worse. That's the only way we learn. We only learn the hard way. I mean, what China and Italy did is exactly what we need to do. In fact, the second your country has the disease or the virus, you need to go on lockdown right away so you can curb it right away. That's the only way. We keep allowing people out on the streets and all that stuff. That's the worst thing we could do. I was watching, I'm watching what's going on South Beach this weekend, and our officials are incredibly stupid. I mean, moronically stupid. And then we feed people a bunch of crap. Oh no, the kid, Trump did it too in the press conference. And look, bro, I don't care about the politics. Bernie, Biden, Trump, we're screwed with either one of those three clowns. Okay, I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. I slam both. Just so you'll know. Okay, this isn't about picking a side. Both sides suck. Both sides can't come up with a good candidate. All right? But there's Trump say, well, young people, this and that, no, they can live through it and this and that. And then Fauci comes on and says, well, young people are also susceptible to this, and they also could get severely sick. It's possible. It's funny how the one dude says one thing who is completely clueless, and then comes the expert and tells you exactly. Fauci's the guy I listen to. That's the guy for me that's my authority on all of this. Whatever Fauci says, I believe, I listen to, he's the expert. I'm not listening to politicians. I'm not listening to the mayor of Miami-Dade or Fort Lauderdale or the president. Okay? They're all morons. All of them. Every one of these politicians are morons. Putting the public at risk is not what you're supposed to do as a politician. You see what they did in New Rochelle? It's kind of what you got to do, man. Unfortunately, we're not disciplined enough to do what we're supposed to do. Okay? Friday, I walked into McDonald's, and it was loaded with kids. Saturday, I drove by that same McDonald's, and it was loaded. I walked in, walked right out.
Did it have
People
one
were
of those
sitting there and hanging out?
Did it have one of those playgrounds for the kids?
No playgrounds.
Oh,
That one
okay.
doesn't
I
have
was
a
going to
playground.
say that's a free playground.
I saw that and I go, let me get the hell out of here. I go, what the hell are all these people hanging out together for? Get in, get out, bro.
Listen, my folks got up crack of dawn Saturday morning.
You're going to sit on the same table everybody else is sitting on.
Got up at the crack of dawn to go to Sam's Club out there in Doral, and they said people got stupid.
Well,
there was,
right.
and
You
like
see
up
that?
in their face, and my dad's
I
like,
can see that.
everybody's about staying 6 feet away, and they're literally in each other's faces. Thank
Right.
God they didn't come to blows. But my dad's, you could see the spit flying out of the guy's mouth, and it's like you're not even supposed to touch, and you're spitting on.
There's
each
a post on social media going viral. I don't know if you guys saw it. There's a kid, right, and he's walking up to total strangers and whispering in their faces in the middle of a Walmart. And so it's being filmed, like he'll walk up to different people, and he's freaking them out because you don't want any stranger in your face now at all. You know what I mean? And it was just one of those things that's going, and the kid's like, he's playing a joke. But it's not a joke right now, dude. It's not a joke. You could easily get punched in the face for doing that now. You want to have your mic on?
That was as bad as that ice cream thing. Remember that?
Right.
It's the same idea
He
right
got,
now.
I think he got 90 days in jail, I want to say.
This is the same. This is along those same lines because you don't know.
Airman 241 is in a good morning mode. Let's see, what else do we have? Michael Clark says, Big O, do you like Flores? Yes, I do. And don't forget, folks, to give us a thumbs up while you're watching the broadcast. Also, grab the YouTube link and share it to a friend. Send it to them on their text. Send it to Facebook. Send it to Instagram, Twitter, Reddit, wherever the hell you hook up with people on social media, give them the links so they know where to go every day to get some sports talk. Let's see. Alex Rodriguez says, morning, Big O. Thank you, sir. Big Mike, morning, Big O. I have to worry about my wife, her brother. 2 years ago, my wife gave him a kidney. Then this past November, he had a stroke and 2 valves replaced in his heart. It's scary. Stay safe. Damn right. Mark McIntyre says, right on, O. YouTube music rocks. Rush, Maiden, April Wine, Grand Funk Railroad. Obviously, I'm almost 70. I love it.
You had to mention April Wine. That's like a sore thorn in your side right now.
And the NFL officially canceled the draft this week, and finally we'll get into that subject too. Manny Machine says, when COVID-19 dies in the summer heat, going to be a lot of foolish-looking experts. Yeah, well, how come you do know, Manny, that there's AC in every building, right? You do know that you catch it in every building inside, right? The rails are inside. The counters are inside. People are sneezing inside. I love how everybody says it's hot, yet I don't know if you checked, Manny. It's been hot outside in Florida, and the numbers continue to grow. But no, go ahead. You use that lazy-ass excuse, my brother, that you think that we're only going to catch it on the outside when we all live inside in AC. Okay? But no. You go ahead and think that the summer's going to kill it off. That's really smart. Well, some of you guys are really naive, man. Holy moly. Let's see. John says, I work at a water plant. I've tested bottled water to tap water. Tap water has always tested the same or better than bottled water. If you have a filter at home, even better. All right, I gotta check it out myself. Let's see what up. Josh, what up, Big O? And Gordon Smith. In Virginia, it's 48 degrees. Yeah. Well, here it's hot in Florida. It's not cold here in Florida. And it's spreading. Every day the cases are growing. So if you actually think that it's going to die out because of the summer, you're mistaken. The flu still goes around in the summer. It's a virus, man. It's going to spread. Don't you see it? It's not going to get any better, and especially if we're not responsible about it. We got a loaded show for you today. Cameron Wolf from ESPN NFL Nation covering the Dolphins is going to join us at 10:30. At 11, Teron Davenport, I should say, Titans beat writer, is going to join us for ESPN NFL Nation. So we'll talk about Tannehill getting his new deal there. At 12:30, our buddy Greg Allman is going to join us from The Athletic. Why? Well, some changes in Tampa Bay because now Brady cannot go to Tennessee and cannot go to San Francisco because San Francisco is also out. They are going to stay with Garoppolo. Then at 1:30, Jennifer Lee Chan. She covers the 49ers. So we'll talk to her about the decision that the Niners have now moved on. They're not going with Brady, so it looks like the Bucs and the Patriots are the lead dog for Brady's services. So we got a lot of things to talk about when it comes to that. Now, let's get into a subject that I think it's interesting and I think insulting in a way. And I'd love to get your opinions there on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, 786-322-1105. Of course, on the YouTube chat board, if you're watching, you can chime in on Twitter at Big O Show if you want to chime in there. Many ways, as always, to chime in. So the NFL is planning, okay, Kirk Cousins and the Vikings reach an agreement on a 2-year extension. Wow, that's weird. What the hell are they doing?
He had one good game.
Wow, that's
right?
crazy.
The New Orleans game, right? That's his biggest.
The only thing I'm thinking of is that they're working the money to try to lower the number in these coming years.
You know what? Remember the defensive end and their safety. They released him, remember? For
Yeah,
Cap.
I don't know what they're doing
Good,
there,
you're right.
but
You're right. That's exactly what it is.
yeah, but that may tie you more to him, and that's just all right. Well, if you want to tie yourself to mediocrity, go for it. I mean, Tennessee did it. All right, so let's go to the NFL. They still plan on starting the new year, Wednesday at 4:00 with free agency. Let me explain something why that is disgusting, despicable, irresponsible, and typical of the greedy NFL. I told you the greed 3, right? On Friday. When is the NCAA tournament going to finally say, hey, no tournament? They did. When is the NFL going to cancel the draft? They did. And then the next of the greed 3 is the IOC. I'm still waiting for, of course, the cancellation, postponement, whatever you want to call it, of the summer games, which should happen. So, now the NFL, greed 3, they want to continue with free agency. This is irresponsible on every way, shape, and form. I'll give you an example. Yesterday, I saw Carvalho. I think that's his name, right? The superintendent or whatever of the Miami-Dade schools. I think that's his name, Carvalho or some crap like that. And he looks like a good dude overall. I know he's got this incredible reputation, and he's big on social media and all of that because he's all over social media. He's very, very, very smart. The way he promotes himself. He does a great job of it, right? But they show a picture yesterday. I think it was yesterday or it was Saturday, where he's sitting there with several students. And they are doing some, I forgot what project or work that they're doing. And I tweeted back on that post, I said, is everybody at that table been tested? Because that's our problem here. You've got, like I said, you got the school superintendent, right? And they're trying to still do some work and trying to get ahead. But you're socializing with a whole bunch of other kids, and these tests are not all over the place. You can't get this test everywhere. In fact, here it is. Alberto M. Carvalho. Now, this is dedication. A yearbook team, students and their advisor from Cutler Bay Senior working diligently to meet their deadline, learning courtesy of Starbucks. There you go. There's the picture. And in a perfect world, that would be a phenomenal picture. But what I want to know is the yearbook teacher, Carvalho, and the 4 kids, have they been tested? Explain that one to me. Right? And I say that because, so the NFL now wants to do free agency. And so that means somebody's going to get on a plane, player A, to visit Team A. Follow me on this. So he's going to go on the team charter plane, right? But he's got to go to the airport. And when he checks in, has everybody been tested there at TSA? Because TSA agents have been testing positive now for the coronavirus. Also, when he gets on the plane, have the pilots been tested? I'm sure there's one stewardess that's taking care of the plane. Has she or he been tested? Then when he gets off and he deals with whatever TSA agent he has to deal with when he gets off, have they been tested? And then when the person that picks him up from the team facility, has he or she been tested? If there's 2 people in the car with them, that may be the assistant general manager, the pro personnel director or something. So has he been tested along with the driver? And then when they get to the facility, they will meet the doctor who will run the physical. They will meet the general manager and other people there, the position coach, all that. Have they all been tested? Do you understand what I'm saying? So every time we associate with somebody, we risk. Bill could have it and he doesn't know it and he could give it to me. Vice versa. I'm just saying. Now, and so now player A leaves team A. Is he going to team B? And then we start the cycle all over again?
Can I throw one? The flight attendant. Was she on a previous flight? How many flights? How many people did she come in contact with?
What I'm saying, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. TSA agents touched 4,000 people.
Yes.
My point is everybody's got contact with other people. And so if we keep doing this, we're going to keep infecting others. And it's called a vicious cycle. So, and now you've got people that are financially crippled because of this. So now you are going to be showing off these $1 million contracts, these hundreds of millions of dollars. And there are people that are going through hell right now. I mean, come on. There are businesses that are going to shut down because of this. Okay? Absolutely shut down. They're not going to be able to rebound from all of this because of their losses. I'll give you a story because I over-prepare. Okay? You want a story? You want something that's going to affect what's going on here? I'll give you something that you're going to go, holy crap. And it's going to freak you out. Okay? David Crosby. I get it. I know I'm late here.
I was going to say, is this is an opportunity for a tease, oh?
Yeah, I understand, but I got to give this a little perspective. David Crosby says he faces severe financial trouble if the coronavirus pandemic leads to the cancellation of his summer tour dates. It's likely the postponement will continue as part of efforts of containing the disease, which possesses a serious threat to the elderly, which, by the way, David Crosby is, and those underlying health issues. A severe case could take between 3 to 6 weeks to recover from, the World Health Organization reported, while most victims can fully expect to recover in 2 weeks or less. I'm sitting here waiting for them to cancel all of my tours this summer and put me in deep financial trouble, Crosby told GQ magazine. You know, they don't pay us for records anymore, right? So touring is all we've got. That's really the only thing we can do to make money. And to lose it, it's just awful, he added. Honest to God, I may lose my home. I don't know what to do about it, except just try to roll with the punches and keep going. Truthfully, if I lose tours, I probably will lose my home. He also noted that most cancellations on postponements involve dates with up until April. They haven't even talked about May yet, which is where I'm slated to go. But once I start in May, I'm working almost constantly until about 6 days before Christmas. And if I lose it all, I'm going to be in deep S. Okay? He says Crosby has been outspoken critic of streaming services for years due to the theft, due to the minuscule rates they pay per stream. The streaming companies are making billions of dollars. The numbers are right out there in the public, Crosby explained. The three main record companies are making, I was told, $19 million a day off of streaming, and the artists are getting shafted. If you did a gig for a month and they paid you a nickel, they're paying you, but not enough to do live. It isn't right. That's what the coronavirus is doing. A guy like David Crosby is going to lose his home. Meanwhile, the NFL is going to brag about $1 million contracts. The optics are terrible, NFL. I get it. Your greed, you kept hanging on to the draft longer than you should have. And now you're going to start free agency. And now not only are you starting free agency, in the face of adversity for the entire country, you're going to start showing off hundreds and millions of dollars that you're about to shell out to players. Terrible optics, man. Cameron Wolfe, ESPN NFL Nation Dolphins reporter. He joins us next.
Plus tax, tech title. It includes $8.99 dealer fee on approved credit. Offers end 11/10/19.
Over 1,500 Toyotas are on the ground, and truckloads of new 2020 Toyotas just keep on coming. To eliminate all 2019 models, Toyota of Hollywood is holding the ultimate 2019 model year changeover event. Make us an offer, any offer, and you can buy a Toyota at up to 50% less than their original MSRP when new and used. 50% less. A pre-owned 2019 RAV4, not $30,000, $19,775. A pre-owned 2019 Camry LE, not $26,000, $17,775. A pre-owned 2019 Corolla LE, not $22,000, $12,775. Pay up to 50% less at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer, based on total retail sales of new Toyotas in the Southeast region for 2014 to 2018 per SET, on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
The world's biggest band is coming twice. Metallica. Headlining the Welcome to Rockville Music Festival. 2 different nights, 2 different sets. The weekend of May 8th through the 10th. Go to welcometorockvillefestival.com for all information. Get your tickets on sale right now. The one, the only Metallica. Go to welcometorockvillefestival.com.
This is the Big O Show. 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 This is the Big O Show.
Alrighty, welcome back. We're going to talk a little NFL free agency, a little Miami Dolphins. Cameron Wolf does an excellent job of covering the Miami Dolphins for ESPN NFL Nation. And, of course, covering the league, too. You can follow him on Twitter at Cameron Wolf. Cameron, good morning, my brother. How are you doing, sir?
Good morning. Locked in my house like I think everybody else is. Trying to figure out what's going to be a busy week.
Yeah, and that's the smart move, by the way. So let me ask you, why is the NFL being a bunch of dumbasses and actually having free agency? Because yesterday I was having a little fun with Carvalho, the Miami-Dade school director. He's sitting there on Saturday with a bunch of yearbook students because they're cramming in trying to get their yearbook work done. And I tweeted back, has everybody been tested on that table? And that's my problem with the NFL free agency. Have the players, the trainers, the GMs, the personnel directors, the pilot, the stewardess that's on that private plane, has everybody been tested? Because this is part of the problem. And the NFL is going to contribute to the problem, kind of like Miami and Fort Lauderdale did by keeping spring break open and allowing thousands of people to be amongst each other. So you tell me, why the hell is the NFL got their head up their culo?
It starts with one thing, they're the only show in town. And I think you'll hear a lot of reasons, and I saw earlier this morning, the NFL and the NFLPA were trying to shift blame to one another and saying the other party was the reason why they couldn't push it back. I think it comes down to this. The NFL thinks that it's the only, and they are the only show in town. They're going to generate a lot of content and a lot of headlines this week, and they're going to try to use their reason that most of the agencies done via the phone, via mobile, that they don't need to push it back. That being said, there's been a lot of worry from people I've talked to, from league executives, from agents, and they're like, why the hell isn't this pushed back? Like, this is very weird that everything's shut down, but giving millionaires more money. So I think that this is going to be something that's talked about throughout the week. The legal tampering period is going to open in about an hour from now. So now you're looking at a situation where all these deals are going to start coming out. And I feel we're going to have a situation where, you know, ultimately they're going to have to get physical for these deals to be final.
Right.
So it may be a few weeks before it's done. And I could see teams backing out on some of these deals. Now you got a real sticky situation where a guy's not getting the money they're promised, and now all the money's dried up. So I think that's the negative result that can happen from this. And, you know, buckle up. I think we're going to see some of it.
The optics are terrible, Cameron, because you're all throwing around hundreds of millions of dollars, and billions of dollars are being lost right now by private businesses, small businesses. There's a lot of people that are going to lose their businesses. There's a lot of people that are going to file for bankruptcy because of the next couple of months is going to absolutely cripple them. And meanwhile, the NFL is going to just casually throw around billions of dollars. I find that also to be absolutely insulting. And you know what it reminds me of? Of Trump yesterday. The press conference, and he comes out and he butts everybody just to talk about, you know, the Feds lowering the interest rate for a point, and then he walks out, and then everybody really then starts to talk about the real important issues. And here's one guy focused on one thing, and the rest of us are focused on the real issues. That kind of reminds me of the NFL. We're just worried about our business and our money. Screw the country.
Yeah, I think the worry that I have is you come back and look at this period, and we're going to have a judgment period once this is all done and who handled this the right way. And, you know, the NCAA ended up canceling March Madness, which had a lot of outrage, but we may end up looking back and saying, man, they were proactive. They did the right thing. The NBA postponed their season. The MLB postponed their season. In the NFL, who's not in season, the only team that was saying, hey, we're going to be full force ahead. So they take a big risk in being the one party that said, hey, despite all the chaos that's going on in the country and the world, we're going to go as in nothing has changed. So I do think that, you know, there is a notion that there isn't going to be as much contact with free agency as there would be for games, but you can't say that there's going to be no contact. You can't say that they're going to be able to do everything they need to do without having contact. And all it's going to take is just one positive case for a free agent, and then everybody's going to be second-guessed on how they went through this process. So there's a lot of risk that the NFL is going about in this just to be the only show in town.
All right, so what's your crystal ball say for our beloved Miami Dolphins? Since they're going to go on the coronavirus free agent movement, what are they going to do? Who do you think they go after?
I think they'll have the term judicious aggression. What I mean by that, I don't think you'll see them as, you know, as a big headline as one of the top 5 players in the market and signing one of those guys. But I think you'll see them make a flurry of moves early in the process for guys who, you know, maybe mid-tier guys who can be stars but may not be stars. You know, I think line marks. I've heard them, you know, being interested in Graham Glasgow, the center forward from the Detroit Lions. I know they've had a lot of interest in Patriots center Jay Cooney, and Patriots center Ted Karras, and also Broncos center Connor McGovern. So I expect them to make at least one offensive line move, maybe 2. I know in the tackle market, they've been looking at more veteran options. Maybe a guy like Kelvin Beachum from the New York Jets, who's going to start there for the last few years. So I think offensive line is the first and foremost issue. And then I think they'll look in the mid-tier edge rusher market. I don't know if they're going to spend $20 million on a guy, but I could see them going after maybe a Kyle Van Noy, Shaq Lawson from Buffalo, 2 guys who may get them starter-type qualities for not that top-tier price. And finally, you know, I know that they are heavily looking into the running back market in the draft, but I expect them to look at a veteran option at that market as well. So Melvin Gordon's the top back left on the market now that Derrick Henry's been tagged. And from what I heard, the Dolphins are going to listen to his price. I don't think they're going to pay a huge premium for him, but for some reason, if his market is depressed a lot worse than he wants, then maybe they could be a player there. If not, they could be a player for another veteran back, maybe a Jordan Howard, former Eagles running back, and try to get a 1-2 punch with him and a rookie going into next year. And Frank Gore, who has been here in 2018, he wants to return. I don't know what the Dolphins' interest is, but he wants to be back if Chris Greer will have him. So those are three positions that I'm looking at mainly. And then the one player who may end up being the biggest splash from all, Titans cornerback Logan Ryan. I know Brian Flores is a big Logan Ryan fan, and I think that he would be a really good fit as a number 2 cornerback opposite Xavier Howard. He's going to cost some money for sure, but if you're looking for maybe their big splash, I think he could be the guy.
All right, that's a lot of them. How many do you think realistically they'll go after? Because I don't think they're going to go after a ton of people like a lot of people thought at the beginning, and now they've kind of dialed it back now, and they've realized that they're not going to be that irresponsible.
Yeah, I think they can sign a half a dozen guys. Like I said, I think that if you're a fan hoping to see them sign, big name guys, stars, I think you're going to be disappointed. But I think you could see them signing guys, maybe in the $5, $6, $7 million range, maybe a couple guys in the $10 million range. I could see them signing a half a dozen players for people starting roles. They just won't be the top of the market guys. So maybe they make those moves, early on today, tomorrow, Wednesday, or maybe they wait to the back end of the week for the market to decompress a little bit. But I definitely think that they're going to get bodies. I think they're going to get more good players rather than 1 or 2 great players.
Cameron Wolfe, of course, joining us from ESPN NFL Nation. He covers the Miami Dolphins on a daily basis. Just out of curiosity, what's it called? Cam Wake was released a couple of days ago by the Titans. Any shot that Miami brings him in as that final defensive end to kind of have, since you're going to have such a young locker room and a whole bunch of young defensive ends, why not maybe your 5th defensive end be that mentor, that teacher, and show some of these young guys how they got to prepare? Not that you would depend on him that much as a player because he'll be a part-time player, and I don't even know if Cam wants to continue his career. But is there any shot of something like that? Because I know that they don't want to sign a lot of old guys. I know they'd rather go in the youth direction, but this is more of a leadership type of thing. So what do you think about that?
I mean, man, wouldn't that be poetic for him to get to end his career back in Miami? I think the first question is what you mentioned, whether or not he wants to continue. I know he ended the year on injured reserve. I don't know how healthy he is at this point. I believe he's 37 years old, so that's getting to the point where retirement has to be a question after every offseason. But, yeah, if he does want to continue, I know Jason Taylor came back after he had, sort of that career. Maybe he can make a similar arc. But I think for Miami's main priorities, they're looking for something younger. If he ends up being a Bo on the free agent market maybe later in the month, and he decides, he only wants to come back to Miami and he'll take maybe a minimum contract or something a little bit more than that, then maybe Miami's interested. But I don't think they're going to spend a ton of resources in rekindling that. I think when they said their goodbye that a year ago, that was the intention. So I wouldn't rule it out, but I think that it would be something where if he decided he only wants to come back to Miami, then that's how they can make it work.
Cameron, the NFL came to its senses and finally canceled the draft and postponed it now. What are you hearing, man? What's going to happen now? Because I know it's kind of I guess we're in the unknown because we don't know when this thing's going to end. But the NFL has to put some kind of a date on when they're going to have to move on their own with the draft, even if it's a virtual draft.
Yeah, I do think that's going to be interesting. There hasn't been any announcement made. I think the safe bet is to say that, hey, it won't happen in Vegas the same way it was supposed to happen. I think that you're probably looking at a situation like you mentioned where it's either virtual, where essentially, maybe just essential personnel is there working, or they do it all remote. I think it's a situation where, Vegas economy is probably really disappointed because they won't have the big splash if they want it. But you've got to protect your people, and you've got to protect everybody coming in. I think you're going to see a big flurry of changes in the structure of the way the NFL does things. At this point, I don't expect us to have OTAs the same way we have. Usually those start up in April. And, it just seems unwise to think that they'll happen the same way. Rookie minicamp the same way. So I think you could be looking at a situation where, the draft, rookie minicamp, OTAs could all be moved back, and some of them may even be canceled as a whole to kind of protect for the people from this virus.
That's that's the thing, and so. But have you heard of any kind of a deadline that they have to set, that they have to have when they're done, so they can figure out when they're going to make the draft happen?
I haven't heard for a specific date. I know that there's been a lot of agents that are worried because a lot of pro days have been canceled. For a lot of second tier players, small school players, that's their chance to get on the NFL radar. So I know a lot of agents have been campaigning for them to get those pro dates back on the schedule, whether it's rescheduled in April or even May. They want to get those before. So I think that, right now, my guess is that it'll end up being postponed, but I don't know a date or a time on when they're going to try to announce this and when that would be.
Cameron, one of the things that I was thinking about is teams that really invested in their scouting throughout the year, not that they anticipated this, but that they normally invest a lot in scouting, are the ones that are going to end up getting to pay the most dividends. Now, if you were counting on pro days and the last interviews now to kind of put you over the top and to really find everything out, you're in a deep hole at this point. But if you did all your homework throughout the year and asked all the right people, all the right questions, and you already have a solid opinion on it. In other words, teams like maybe Miami might be in a better shape than the Cincinnati Bengals, who don't necessarily invest as much in scouting like Miami does or other teams. You know what I'm saying? So scouting, whoever really invested in scouting this year, they're the ones that are really going to have an advantage when the draft does roll around.
Yeah, the people who do the work during the year. And I think film is going to win. Film work is going to win.
Yeah.
People who look in testing numbers and really rely on the pro day circuit to pick players, and particularly the pre-draft visits. I think one impact is going to be the character guys. A lot of teams bring in character guys for their pre-draft visits to get convinced on whether or not they're their guy. And if they won't have those meetings or those pro days visit, then they won't be able to check that box off. Same for medical guys, and obviously Tua is a guy who's mentioned a lot for the Dolphins. But if there's no, contact, then we won't be able to see Tua on the field and being on his pro day. We won't be able to see him get medical retesting. So how does that change the way teams are comfortable picking him? Does that make it a situation where the Dolphins, who've done a lot of work on him, can sit at 5 and still grab him because now other teams aren't as willing to trade up? I think that's definitely a possibility. So I think you're looking at a lot of scenarios where, hey, the teams who are most comfortable with their work from, the previous 12 months, those are the teams that are going to be in a better position and going to feel more comfortable on draft day, whenever it is.
Cameron Wolfe, of course, ESPN NFL Nation Dolphins reporter joining us. All right, let's wrap it up with these questions here. Tua, where do you stand now after all the information you've gathered? You've gone to the combine, all of that. If he's there at 5, do you believe Miami takes him? And what are your thoughts of him at 5, considering the injury history?
Yes, I think if he's available, he's a Dolphin. I think that's how I've been throughout the process. I have not changed. I think that Tua is their preferred quarterback outside of Joe Burrow, and I think that if he's available, they'll go get him. The question they have between now and draft day, whenever that is whether they have to trade up or if they can stay. And I can't answer that question for them. Honestly, Chris Greer is going to have to play his best poker. So I think that, in their position, they would love to stay at 5 and get them. And maybe this coronavirus thing helps them in that. But ultimately, if you're going to get your quarterback, you may not be able to play those games. You may have to go trade up and get them. But I do think that Tua is their guy. I know there's been a lot of Jordan Love and Justin Herbert talk, and they might like them to differing degrees. But I think that Tua is the guy who can change your franchise, and you have to take that risk to get that big reward, and I think that's what the Dolphins are prepared to do.
All right, so what is the most important for Cameron Wolfe right now? Is it really gathering supplies or trying to find the right place in your house or create the right kind of backdrop, since you're going to have to do some interviews now by video and you can't be in studios and all that stuff? Because one of the things I'm noticing, Cam, there's some lame-ass backgrounds for some of these folks out there that are doing some reporting. I'm watching it. They've got some nasty-ass, plain-ass rooms. So what are you doing to make sure you got that killer background, bro?
I don't know, man. I got a bookcase with a bunch of books.
Oh, the bookcase. Everybody's got the bookcase. Yeah.
That's usually my go-to background. I've got a condo here, so I don't have a ton of space to like create a whole room for it. But I do have a bookcase with some football stuff in the background, ESPN stuff in the background, and I've got a little light set so I can at least be lit up correctly. So it's probably not the fanciest backdrop, but it'll have to do for me.
Yeah, no, I saw Beasley do a hit, and he just had like some lame-ass little martini type of portrait behind him, and that's it. It was just lame, bro. Come on, you got to have some flavor back there. You got to have some style. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I hear you. I absolutely hear you. I got to work on that. That's not my intent for it. So I just got my bookcase by there. I got some pretty cool bookcase, cool stuff in the background, but yeah, it's not necessarily going to be the fanciest here. I don't have any plush furniture that's sitting back in the place.
Style points, very important. Follow him on Twitter at Cameron Wolf. Catch his work there at ESPN. Cam, you're always awesome, baby. Thanks for taking some time.
All right, thanks, Jeff. Stay safe.
You got it, definitely. Corona-free. Let's stay Corona-free. Have you noticed that, by the way, now that they're all not in studios, so they now got to go to their houses and all that, and then you got to see and they got to find a spot in their house where to, take the shot and all of that. And, man, there's some lame things going on there. You got to work on a background there. Do something. Add some flavor to it. Add some character. Look at us. We got a little Fernandez. We got a Spider-Man. We got what's it called? The Eiffel Tower. We got the Big O Show sign.
The Rush Lunchbox.
The Rush Lunchbox, of course. Our amazing listeners. You can see from that end over there, we've got the Sports Illustrated with the Canes. A little Nita Strauss autographed picture from her, poster. You can't see the other Canes one up top, the other Sports Illustrated one that's above that one. Oh, and you see back here, this is the Marino Kozar Sports Illustrated. Love that. That's one of my favorite magazine covers of all time, right? That is so good. That is awesome. I love that magazine right there. Had to frame that one.
Oh, once upon a time when we were really good.
Yeah. But see, you got to have flavor, man. These people got some lame-ass backgrounds back there. I mean, come on. Let's go. Spend a little money. Oh, you moved the damn camera? Now you're you did that? There you go. Oh, okay. Oh, there's the Millennium Falcons.
You're doing the tour.
Okay.
So
I didn't know you showed the Millennium Falcon and the TIE Fighters and all that good stuff.
Yeah, okay. Marino and Kozar on the cover.
Oh, and you were able to see the Strikers flag above. So there you go. Yeah, you gotta mix it up, man. You gotta give people a little something. So while they're looking at, because you don't want to see my face. So at least we give you other things that are a little bit more.
All this cool stuff. They're stuck looking at your face. Come on, man.
Definitely don't want to see my face. That's for damn sure. We're going to have Teron Davenport on. He covers the Titans. They signed Ryan Tannehill to a long-term contract. We got to get into that when we come back on the other side. You know what? I'll get to your questions and comments on the YouTube chat board. Don't forget to give us the thumbs up while you're watching. Also, share the link. Send it to a friend on text. Post it on Twitter, on Facebook, Reddit, Instagram, whatever it is that you use for social media purposes. Let's take a break. Hour number 2 is next. Teron Davenport, ESPN NFL Nation Titans reporter. Ryan Tannehill is a very rich man. He was already a rich man. He's got a beautiful wife, a beautiful family. Now he's got way more money in the bank account. So we'll talk about the Titans staying average next.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com, a travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
Plus tax, tag title. It includes $8.99 dealer fee on approved credit. Offers end 11/10/19.
Over 1,500 Toyotas are on the ground, and truckloads of new 2020 Toyotas just keep on coming. To eliminate all 2019 models, Toyota of Hollywood is holding the ultimate 2019 model year changeover event. Make us an offer, any offer, and you can buy a Toyota at up to 50% less than their original MSRP when new and used. 50% less. A pre-owned 2019 RAV4, not $30,000, $19,775. A pre-owned 2019 Camry LE, not $26,000, $17,775. A pre-owned 2019 Corolla LE, not $22,000, $12,775. Pay up to 50% less at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer, based on total retail sales of new Toyotas in the Southeast region for 2014 to 2018 per SET, on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
The world's biggest band is coming twice. Metallica. Headlining the Welcome to Rockville Music Festival. 2 different nights, 2 different sets. The weekend of May 8th through the 10th. Go to welcometorockvillefestival.com for all information. Get your tickets on sale right now. The one, the only Metallica. Go to welcometorockvillefestival.com.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
We are back. All right, we take you, I don't know, it's probably going to be around 2 o'clock, 1 something. I think we'll probably do. We'll be close to 4 hours today, somewhere along those areas. Listen, I got to tell you something. Personally, for me, greedy. If you want me to be greedy, and if you want me to be selfish and self-centered, right? And some of you may want the same thing. We want free agency to go on. You know why? It gives me something to talk about. I got nothing to talk about. There are no sports going on. So free agency would save my ass. It already has in this first hour. You know what I'm saying?
Pretty creative, man.
I know, but I don't. But what I'm saying is, I would like real sports to talk about. But really, what's right for all of us, you really shouldn't be doing free agency right now. It's just the optics are terrible, man. Terrible. Right now, people are going through really tough times. And how many of you are so concerned about money you're about to lose? Come on. We all are. Every one of us, we're all concerned about this. This is a serious, serious thing that critically it's going to cripple a lot of people. It's a real I just find it to be completely irresponsible. All right, let's move on here in hour number 2. Teron Davenport covers the Titans for ESPN NFL Nation. You can follow him on Twitter at @TDavenport_NFL. They made news yesterday as they signed Ryan Tannehill to a 4-year contract, $118 million, 91 of it guaranteed. Let's talk to Teron Davenport now about the decision the Titans have made and other decisions they've got to make. Teron, good morning. How are you doing, sir?
Hey, good morning, fellas. How's it going? Excuse me.
Yeah, it's going well. We're corona-free right now, I think. At least we think. You know, that's the thing. We don't really have a test. You know what I'm saying? It's one of those, Don't you love, Tehran, having to walk around with that paranoia of not knowing whether you do have it or you don't, and is it dormant right now? Am I going to see some kind of I sneezed? Oh my God, do I have it? It's a pretty screwed up time right now.
Yeah, it definitely makes you really understand how powerful your mind is, because there are different symptoms, and your mind being so paranoid, being so concerned, your mind makes you think that you have those symptoms when you really don't. So yeah, it's a bad situation, man. For me, the answer is just prayer, and I just, you gotta take it up. Just hope for the best for yourself and everyone else.
So let me ask you, saying all that, is it right for the NFL to be doing free agency right now, and the optics of watching people sign $100 million contracts, and there are people right now that are losing a lot of money, could be losing their jobs, could be losing their houses, could be losing their businesses because of this prolonged neutral type of way we have to be in our lives right now. A lot of people aren't making money. Is this the right move by the NFL?
I think it's the right move. If you're able to have business go on as normal, I think you should. And it's the right move because what they're doing doesn't require contact with 50 or more people at one time, within each other's personal space. I think it is the right move. I mean, frankly, in my opinion, if we're going to question the NFL for keeping going on, I think we should question the airports for keeping it going, because that's where people are actually at risk. And then in addition to that, my opinion is that football, sports, that's an out for some people. Someone who may be going through something that's really bad regarding this virus. Well, you know what? You could look at something that your team is doing, and that could kind of give you a 5-minute break from whatever turmoil is going on in your life. So I think it's right for the league to keep going. They're not putting anyone at risk. I think it's perfectly all right.
All right, Tehran, the team you cover every day, and we're talking with Tehran Davenport, ESPN NFL Nation reporter. The team you cover, the Titans, they made their decision on Ryan Tannehill. Before I ask you about that decision, what happened with Tom Brady? Because for me, that would have been the perfect scenario for the Titans to get over the hump, is Tom Brady with that team and that running game and that defense. So first of all, the decision to not go after Brady, what do you hear?
Yeah, well, I mean, the decision comes because they've seen the success that they are able to have with Ryan Tannehill. Last year, if you look at how things went, he just has been the ultimate quarterback for that scheme, right? You run the ball, run the ball, dial up a play action. It's not easy to be the type of quarterback when you're rarely called upon to make a throw, to make it as precise as what Tannehill did last year. You watched the Ravens game, right? They ran the ball, dialed up the play action, a deep pass to Khalif Raymond, 45-yard touchdown, and that kind of put the game away, more or less. But then you look at just the way he's able to come in. They ask him not to lose the game. They just want you to get 2 or 3 big plays, lean on the defense in the running game, and that's the formula. He's a game manager, and I think he's the utmost game manager for what the Titans need to do. So I get it, Tom Brady, that whole option that's really sexy and that looks good. And I think Brady could have come to Nashville and been successful, but I think it's more of not trying to make the splash signing and go with what they saw work for them over the 10 games last year.
All right, so you said some interesting stuff there, Tehran. First of all, you called them a game manager. So if they're going to pay $118 million for that game manager, and you're right, he made some, throws when he had to make for them. But, watching him for 7 years here, I kind of learned a lot about him. And to me, nothing changed over there in Tennessee. He had, obviously, a running game he never had here and a line and those kind of things, and that really elevated his play. But where I see Ryan is what he is, and you kind of also labeled him that as a game manager. Well, in the AFC Championship game, when they shut down Derrick Henry, he was not able to elevate the team. he doesn't. I don't believe he can do that, actually. I believe he can play complementary to Derrick Henry, but he is not a quarterback that is going to elevate a team. So we didn't see him do that in the AFC Championship game when they needed him. First of all, your thoughts on that. Second, why are they paying a guy that kind of money that cannot elevate a team? That he has to be the complementary guy, the guy that plays off the running game, but if something fails with the running game, he's not the guy to bail you out. So explain that.
Well, it's pretty simple, and I actually have to strongly disagree with you as far as you saying that nothing has changed since Miami. A lot has changed, frankly, and in talking to him personally, I know that. He's playing with a more carefree attitude. If you watch his game, he's making much more tight window throws. His completion percentage is much higher. He's taking more shots down the field. I mean, you know the situation with Mike Wallace and how Mike Wallace said that his inability to connect with him on deep passes actually cost him his career in Miami. So, frankly, he is much different than what he was in Miami. And then in addition to that, you're seeing him lead receivers. You know, the throws that he makes to A.J. Brown across the middle, allowing him to accelerate through the catch and get yards after the catch, that is making a player better. So I strongly disagree as far as him not elevating everyone else's game.
So
being able to look at the rush.
So then what happened? What was your explanation for the AFC Championship game?
So here's the thing, right? I allowed you to go on and speak your piece. I just asked that you do the same for me.
Okay.
So as I was saying, if you look at beyond just what the throws that he's making on the football field are, you have to look at his ability to get the team in and out of good plays, right? So if he goes to the line of scrimmage, he sees that there's a situation where they have a blitz coming. He's been able to make that change. That's not something that the Titans quarterbacks had done in the past. And then additionally, if you want to look at numbers, before he took over in Week 7, the Titans were 19th in the NFL with a 58% red zone scoring percentage. In 4 weeks, they accelerated to number 1 with a 71% red zone scoring percentage. They finished at 72%. His completion percentage within the red zone was, I believe it was 12th in the league. His average yards per completion within the red zone was 3rd in the league. Oh, we could talk about third downs as well because the Titans got better there too. In my opinion, just because he's not passing for 5,000 yards, throwing for 50 touchdowns, that doesn't mean he's not making everyone else better. Now, to address your AFC Championship game issue, I do understand that in the second half, it didn't happen. They were able to close the game and pull within 10 points or whatnot. But remember, they started the game with the lead, and that wasn't just a breakdown by Ryan Tannehill. That was a breakdown by the group. They got away from their game plan. Ryan Tannehill is not the quarterback that you have throw the ball 30 to 40 times. He's more of a guy, like I said, a game manager who will be able to be productive with less less throws, but you have to be able to balance it with the running game. It's a team sport, so you have to understand that. And you also have to factor in the Chiefs and their offense. They couldn't be stopped. And that's really what happened. If you watch Pat Mahomes and his ability to extend plays, it was actually the defense where it was let down.
Yeah, but that's what you're going to have to deal with, my brother. That's what you have. You have Pat Mahomes. So if you're going to run into that moment, see, people are going to see this, and they're going to say, all right, we shut down Derrick Henry. Ryan can't beat us. And that's
okay. Do you understand? Do you understand that shutting down Derrick Henry is not something that's just easy to do, right? I mean, this is a guy who had 1,540 yards rushing last year.
I get that. I totally understand that. But he hasn't been doing that his entire career either. That was his pinnacle right there. Now we got to see if he can do that every single year from here on out. That's my point with that's my point.
Derrick Henry had a very good year in 2018 also. 2019 was not just some type of accidental anomaly. He has proven that he is a top-level running back. So I'm not sure what you're alluding to there.
Well, my point is that if he's got to be himself in order for Ryan to work. But if teams somehow are able to figure out a way to, just like Lamar, same thing that happened in Baltimore. They were playing their game, and then they figured out, all right, we got to stop them from running. And when they figured out they stopped them from running, Lamar couldn't pass his way out of the whole thing. And that's the same thing, I think, with Ryan. Even though they're completely two different quarterbacks, neither guy is going to beat you with his arm. They've got to be the complementary piece to it. But when it comes to it being the forefront of it, in other words, if you make Lamar the passer, not the runner, you're dead in the water. If you make Ryan Tannehill the passer, you're dead in the water. And that's exactly what happened in the AFC Championship game, just like Lamar Jackson, the same thing. They made them, those defenses put them in a position where, all right, young men, you guys now have to beat us. And they couldn't beat them with the arm. And that's
frankly, to tell you the truth, it wasn't the defenses. Actually, if you watch the game and understand the way things work, Greg Roman in that Baltimore game against the Titans, they got away from the run, and then there were plenty of throws that Lamar made that guys dropped. So it's easy to just point the finger at Lamar Jackson and say, "Oh well, they made him pass the ball, and that's why it didn't work." And then if you look, the Titans, their team is built to run the football and make plays in the passing game off of the run. Well, Derrick Henry carried the ball 3 times in the second half. So both times you had offensive coordinators get away from what they made their living doing throughout the year. So there are differences. I mean, I think it's crude, it's elementary to blame it on just one guy. I can't do that, and that's just me knowing this game of football, having played it and coached it. I'm not going to just blame it on Lamar Jackson. I'm not just going to blame it on Ryan Tannehill. That's elementary in my opinion.
Okay, no, that's fine. I mean, that's my theory. That's my philosophy. I mean, I've watched Ryan for 7 years, and I know when push comes to shove, he's not going to be the guy that's going to get you over the top. And for Lamar Jackson, he's a beautiful and amazing athlete when he's able to run the ball. If you take that run away from him, he's not going to beat you with his arm, just like the kid in Buffalo. You do all the gadget stuff, you can get away with it every once in a while. The second you try to make
Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen are completely different classes. Please don't do that to Lamar Jackson.
They're all
and you're saying that if you make him pass the football, that he's not as good of a player. I guess it's just a coincidence that he led the league in passing touchdowns.
No, I listen.
I'm just saying.
Stats can be spun any way you want them, okay?
Okay.
I've been covering the game forever, and I've been doing this for 30 years. Stats can be
spun
in a positive.
That's great. I've been covering the game as well for quite some time. I played the game on a professional level too. So I get where you're coming from, but there's no need to pull that you've been covering the game for quite some time. That's great, and I'm happy for you for that. But I think what we should do is just focus on what we're talking about here.
I get that, and it's exactly what I'm talking about. Guys that can't pass you out of problems. I wasn't comparing the talents, whether it's Josh Allen, whether it's Lamar Jackson, or Ryan Tannehill. To me, they're all the same in the sense of they're not going to be able to pass you out of problems. Now, when things are perfect, which is what has to be in Baltimore, which what has to be in Tennessee, which has to be in Buffalo. If you don't run their offense, they're not going to be able to work, is my point. And it's all different. All 3 of them are completely different. But you have to run it their way or it doesn't work. If it doesn't break down, you're not going to be able to do what Pat Mahomes can do or Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson, because those guys are more dynamic, that they're not just one-level type players. They're going to be able to do other things, and they're going to try to figure your defense out in other ways. These guys, I'm just saying, they have their limitations as passers, is my point. That's all.
Sounds good.
Teron Davenport doesn't agree with me 100%. Follow him on Twitter at @TDavenport_NFL. Catch his work for ESPN NFL Nation. Teron, I appreciate the discussion. I know we disagree, but thank you for taking some time, my man.
Oh, no problem. Thanks for having me. And just a heads up, they did place the franchise tag on Derrick Henry as well. So that's something else to include.
That means Conklin is out, correct?
Out as far as the franchise tag, but there is plenty of money to bring him in. So we'll see what type of deal they make. I still think Conklin moves on. He's going to get paid beautifully.
Okay, so where do you stand on Conklin? Is he the guy that never achieved his peak, super talented, or a guy that never is going to achieve his peak? How do you – because I've heard different things from people that have covered him that they think he's done a really good job, but he could be way better and he hasn't gotten there yet. How do you view him?
Yeah, I tell you this. He came in as an all-pro, as a rookie. He played really well, had that injury against the Patriots in the playoffs, and 2018 was it was a wash for him, both from a mental side and a physical side. He ended up re-injuring that knee, and he was placed on IR. This past year, I think the start of it was kind of choppy for him, especially against the Jaguars. If you watch that game, Josh Allen ate his lunch all game. But as the season went on and he distanced himself from that injury, as well as became more confident as a player, he got better. I think he's a top-level tackle, I don't know about paying him Lane Johnson type of money because there are deficiencies as far as pass protection. If you're a team that likes to run the football, he is definitely your guy because he's an outstanding top-level run blocker. So as far as the complete tackle, I don't think he's top level, but running wise, yeah, he's there.
So you're like a lot of other people. You think he's underachieved a little bit, that he's got a little bit more, or maybe this is who he is. Is that, I don't know. How do you view that?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's achieved a lot. I think he's done an excellent job. I just think there can be some improvement for pass blocking if you're going to pay a guy 18. Typically, when you pay a guy that type of money, it's to protect your $100+ million investment, right? So I think that's where it gets a little hairy as far as giving him that top-level contract.
All right, follow him on Twitter, @TDavenport_NFL. Teron, good conversation, man. I appreciate it.
Thanks for sure. I appreciate you, man. Never any hard feelings. It's just football talk. So I hope you're with me on that. All right. Thanks a lot, man. Take care.
Won't be the last time we disagree. Be good. Thank you.
Hey, for sure, man. Have a good one. Stay safe.
Teron Davenport. All right. Good stuff there. Listen, I expect people to disagree with me on this. And if you lean on the stats like he did, the stats will look really good. The stats will look terrific. But it's got to be the way it's played out. You got to have the running game going, and then Ryan can play off of it. You got to have the running game going, and Lamar's got to play off of it. Josh Allen's got to have the running game, including him being part of the running game. And maybe you can do a little something. He's a little bit more limited than those two other guys, but still, again, same thing. But there's no real excuse on why they both failed in the key moments, because when they took away the running game, and including Josh Allen too, by the way, but to a lesser extent, those guys fell by the wayside. And that's the amazing part to me of watching this contract by Ryan. Hey, look, God bless him, man. $118 million, $91 guaranteed. Enjoy the money. That's fantastic. But it's funny because the way Teron was describing it now, that if I'm going to pay a tackle this kind of money, I want him to protect my $100 million investment. Well, if I'm going to pay a quarterback $118 million and 91 of it guaranteed, then I want to make sure you can get me out of a mess. And that's what I don't believe Ryan Tannehill can do. But see, what Teron and every other writer or radio person or anybody else that covers the Titans, it's only 1 year. They only saw Ryan for, what was it, like 10 games or something? And so they don't really know yet. Like a lot of Dolph fans know. And next year, they're going to look at that tape in the AFC Championship game. And they're going to say, okay, how did they slow things down with Derrick Henry? All right, we've got to do that. And next year, defensive coordinators are going to be prepared, better prepared to stop Derrick Henry. Because the part of the conversation that Teron and I did not get into, because this would be a conversation that he and I could get into for the next 2 hours. Don't you think that Pittsburgh, Cleveland, and Cincinnati, well, I don't know about Cincinnati, but at least Pittsburgh and Cleveland, don't you think they're going to start to build their teams in a way? Well, actually, they're not in that division. They're in
no, they're in the NFC South.
They're
with Jax.
Yeah, Jacksonville.
Indy.
Right. So Jacksonville, Indy, and Houston. Don't you think they're going to build their D lines in a way to stop Derrick Henry? Right. So if that's going to happen eventually, that they're going to, okay, well, we need to build up, we need an extra lineman, we need whatever, we got to deal with Henry twice a year, we got to stop him. This coming season, I don't believe Derrick Henry will run as crazy as he did this year. Why? Because they're going to be prepared. And they're going to say, if you allow him to run, you lose the game. If we slow him down, we can beat him because Ryan can't beat us. And that's what's going to happen.
Don't we always say it's a copycat league, right?
Yeah. And they will learn, all those folks in Tennessee will learn what a lot of Doll fans already know, that when you get to that key moment, Ryan's not going to bail you out. But that's fine. That's fine. A year from now, 2 years from now, we'll bring on those people from Tennessee, and then they're going to say, Ryan's a good kid and he can play, but he needs the perfect scenario in order for him to succeed. That's what's going to happen. I mean, come on, man. It's automatic that's what's going to happen.
Everybody talks
I can already see it.
Everybody talks about his incredible stats during the regular season. When he got to the playoffs, what was it, 73 yards against the Patriots?
Yeah.
And 100 and something against Baltimore.
And
about one pass, I think, over 50% in the two combined games.
Yeah.
The playoffs, that's what you did. I'm sorry.
He's not the guy, man. But they'll learn. They'll learn. They'll learn. They'll learn the hard way. Kind of like as a country, we're going to learn the hard way with this coronavirus thing. The European Union now proposes a ban on non-essential travel to the region for 30 days in response to the corona outbreak. All right. So,
I saw that the actual guarantee on Tannehill today. I thought I saw 62 million.
Well, 91.
I saw 91, then I saw 62. What's the deal?
That's probably because he's got to be on that third year. He's got to be on the roster March, whatever, when the calendar year starts, to then guarantee that third year. That's probably what it is.
Okay.
Yeah,
and it's a team option probably on that third?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's probably what it is. There we go. Let's see. He's replaying the Cam Wolf interview. No, there's no replay. That's a live interview, Bromar. Josh says, I like Tannehill, but he's no Tom Brady. John Santos says, Tannehill's the same old Jag, the man in the middle. I don't care what people say. Mark McIntyre, who is this guest watching, Tannehill or Andy Dalton? No, Mark, it's the nice guy syndrome. We all fall for it, man. And because you like the person, because Ryan is super likable, Tim Tebow, super likable, Josh Allen's likable, Lamar Jackson's lovable. I mean, these guys, it's hard to pick on them as human beings. You want to root for them. You want Ryan to succeed. You want Ryan to be a beast. You want Tim Tebow to be the best quarterback in the history of time because he's one of the greatest human beings that the good Lord has ever made. You know what I'm saying? So it's that whole good guy syndrome thing, man. It's hard to get off of it. And Ryan is so damn likable that it's hard to root against the guy. But you got to compartmentalize and see what it is. Lamar Jackson, dude is awesome. He's a great young man. Just don't want him as a quarterback. That's all. Tom Pelissero is reporting that the NFL plans to hold and televise the April 22-23rd as scheduled, but public drafts that's wrong. The draft's been canceled already. It's been postponed. I haven't seen that. I gotta see what you're talking about there. I don't know what you're talking about because I saw the draft was postponed already at this point. Let me see if there's anything like that. I'll look it up. Myron says the Titans think they are going to the AFC Championship again with Ryan. Good luck. This guy's a blind-ass fan. Manny Machine says good news for NFL draft. Let's see. And oh, look. He's right. This just came across the wire at 11:25. The CDC's recommendation that all gatherings of more than 50 people be postponed or canceled for the next 8 weeks in order to help fight the spread of COVID-19 meant there was little chance the NFL draft would go on as planned next month. The NFL made it official on Monday. The league announced that there will be no public events in Las Vegas as part of the draft, but it will take place as scheduled April 23rd and 25th and will be televised. This decision reflects our foremost priority, the health and safety of our fans and citizens, Roger Goodell said. While the outcome is disappointing both the NFL and Las Vegas community, we look forward to partnering with the Raiders, the City of Las Vegas, and Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority for a future NFL draft, as well as evaluating opportunities for other major NFL events in Las Vegas in the future, including the Super Bowl. So there you go. So it'll at least
perfect. Like I had said on Friday. Just move it back to next year. We have 11 draft picks. We could pick up next year, right?
Oh, next year's already sold, bro. I think the next 2 years are already out. So it's way down the line where they get it. So it won't be right away.
So we'll have to go someplace else.
Yeah. I think the next 2 are already set. Let's see. Go Gators. I knew this would get a little tense. It's fine, bro. That's good. I got no problem with that. This guy is so biased, Juan Corona says. Hey, listen, everybody's viewed as biased. Whether you view Tehran bias or me bias. It's going to happen, bro. It's an opinion. That's all. And you're kind of caught. See, right now, the people in Tennessee are prisoners of the moment because they went to the AFC Championship game. They haven't had anything like that in a while. So they're kind of married to that right now, and they actually think that some of them actually think that they're going to get to the next level. And they don't know that it's Mark Sanchez all over again. You just got to your peak, bro. It is what it is. It's not because Mark Sanchez is any good. It's because the team around him was really good. It's not because Ryan Tannehill is anything special. It's because everything else around him was really special.
I love the way you pulled the Jets into this.
Yeah, I mean, come on. It's just, it is what it is. Dan Lore says, stats are for losers, Jimmy Johnson once said. It is what it is. Brandon Flood says, tense is great radio. Dominique Veluso says, this guy will never do another interview with him. Oh, that's fine. Mike No Go Zone says, the Titans beat writer is getting a bit snippy. Brandon Flood says, I'm siding with the guy on this one, LOL. It's okay to have a difference of opinion. I agree. Myron Sanchez says, that guy is a true Titans blind-ass fan, and Lamar Jackson got exposed last year. Copy league. Dominic says, I don't have a problem with Ryan, but he is what he is, a trailer, not a truck. Wow, I like that. A trailer, not a truck. That is a great line, Dominic. Let's see what else. Cheyenne Moore says, Arians loading up the pirate ship with a bag full of coins, setting sail to Massachusetts. You're probably right, sir. King Short says, what's up, peep? Dan Lore says, the only stats that matter is wins and championships. Tennessee Titans overpaid. What else do we have? Ian from Brooklyn says, right tackle getting over like FT Rat. The Titans will learn. Man of 1,005 holds. If Tannehill was the guy, they shouldn't need to run with Heavy 30 times. Of course. But, now, let me explain something to you. Jameis Winston is different than Ryan Tannehill, but you have to use him the same way. You don't want Ryan throwing over 30 times. You want him 25, 30 in that neighborhood, 20 times if you can, that kind of stuff, make certain throws, heavy running game. Ryan will take care of the football, which is what he does. He's good at that overall. And he'll manage the game and make a couple throws for you. Don't put him in a position where he has to win the game for you, then you're screwed. Jameis Winston's the guy that can win games for you, but you have to do the same thing with Ryan that you do with Jameis. You have to limit Jameis's throws, 20, 25 a game also. Now, he can make some impactful throws for you. You got to have a great running game. But if you put Jameis in a position where he's throwing 30-plus times, 35-plus times, 40, you're going to get in trouble because he doesn't know how to take care of the football. Whereas Ryan is not really going to take the chances and going to play conservative and really not going to win games for you in key moments. Two different kinds of quarterbacks. It's kind of what I was explaining to Tehran, that Lamar, Josh Allen, and Ryan Tannehill aren't the same quarterbacks. All three of them are completely different, but philosophically, they do have something in common. They all need a running game badly in order for them to work, and neither one of them will beat you with their arms. So if you put them in a position where you need an arm because your running game's not working, it doesn't matter which one they are. You're going to fail. Just the way it is. Big O, what are your thoughts on the expanded playoffs to 7 teams per conference? I already talked about this before. That was nothing more than a money grab. It was stupid on the NFL's part. It's all greed. That's all they care about. They care about suckering you guys into buying more crap, buying more playoff tickets, more playoff shirts, more playoff hats, all that stuff. That's all it is. It's a money grab. Nothing more, nothing less. Okay? That's it. The team that is the 6th team that makes it to the playoffs nowadays doesn't deserve to be in the playoffs, i.e., the Pittsburgh Steelers would have been your 7th team. Do you really think the Pittsburgh Steelers deserve to be in the playoffs this year? No. Of course not. And the 6th team normally, like the Dolphins made it a few years ago, come on, man. Dolphins didn't deserve to be in the playoffs. The 6th team usually just gets spanked and sent home nowadays. So if the 6th team is rarely worthy of the playoffs, what do you think the 7th team is? It's a money grab. That's all it is. Okay? Expanding to 14 teams for the playoffs, complete money grab. Because it's not like those teams are really going to win the Super Bowl. It has to be flukish that 7th team is a really, really good team that had all kinds of injuries, and they lost a bunch of games, but they won enough in the back end just to, like, sneak into the playoffs, and then they got healthy, and then they were able to make a run. That kind of flukish stuff. But if you're a legitimately 7th best team in the conference and you're making the playoffs, you're not good enough to win the Super Bowl. So, money grab. Big O Davenport took you to school, man. Tannehill is an awesome QB. Yeah, he's God, bro. He'll be in Canton in a couple years. In fact, I'll be the guy doing his induction ceremony. Gus says Joe Tunney just got tagged by the Pats. Oh, well. There goes the and a guard, you don't really get paid that much for the tag. Davenport, don't know. Tannehill he's okay, not great. Hey, listen, people will learn the hard way in Tennessee. Rap Sheet is also reporting this gives them the ability to trade Tunney, and this may have been an effort to keep him away from division rivals like the Jets. Okay. We'll find out. Juan Corona, not you, Big O, that other dude. Well, thank you, Corona. I appreciate you. It's all right. It's all good, bro. Listen, if you want to agree with Tehran, that's fine. A lot of you bought into what Ryan did this year, and you think he turned some corner, and you think the Dolphins are missing something. I'd like to know how many Dolphins really want Ryan Tannehill back right now. That would be funny. Dominic says, you guys want to see Big O get going. Big O, worst contract ever, Ryan Tannehill Titans or Sue Fins? There you go. Definitely the Sue. Definitely Sue. That was a terrible contract. The Miami one wasn't really that bad. It was, look, it's market value nowadays. Look at Kirk Cousins. Another guy. Don't put him in a position where he has to win the game. For the draft, there is software where as many 100 people can be on a video chat simultaneously. So you and Bill in your studio to a live draft party, you can see all of our ugly mugs. Oh, that's interesting. The NFL is the devil, LOL, just like Trump. You guys are brutal. Ian from Brooklyn, Big O, they can't handle the truth. That's all right, bro. The truth will come out. You know what I mean? And eventually they will live the truth, and they will find out themselves. Remember to give us the thumbs up here. All right, let's take a quick break. We'll come back on the other side at noon. No, I'm sorry, at 12:30. Greg Allman is going to join us from The Athletic. We'll talk a little bit about the Bucs. We'll give you the latest on what's going on in the NFL when we come back right here on the Big O Show.
Plus tax, tech title. It includes $8.99 dealer fee on approved credit. Offers end 11/10/19.
Over 1,500 Toyotas are on the ground, and truckloads of new 2020 Toyotas just keep on coming. To eliminate all 2019 models, Toyota of Hollywood is holding the ultimate 2019 model year changeover event. Make us an offer, any offer, and you can buy a Toyota at up to 50% less than their original MSRP when new and used.
50% less.
A pre-owned 2019 RAV4, not $30,000, $19,775. A pre-owned 2019 Camry LE, not $26,000, $17,775. A pre-owned 2019 Corolla LE, not $22,000, $12,775. Pay up to 50% less at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer, based on total retail sales of new Toyotas in the Southeast region for 2014 to 2018 per SET, on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com, a travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
The world's biggest band is coming twice. Metallica. Headlining the Welcome to Rockville Music Festival. 2 different nights, 2 different sets. The weekend of May 8th through the 10th. Go to welcometorockvillefestival.com for all information. Get your tickets on sale right now. The one, the only Metallica. Go to welcometorockvillefestival.com.
This is the Big O Show. 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 This is the Big O Show.
There we go. All right, Giants have placed the franchise tag on defensive lineman Leonard Williams. So Williams gets the franchise tag from the Giants. This is what we got so far. Falcons are going to release Desmond Trufant. The Bucs have placed the tag on Shaq Barrett. KC placing the tag on Chris Jones. They also pick up the 2020 option with Damian Williams at $2.3 million, leading rusher last year. He signed a 2-year, $8.1 million deal. How about a bargain there? The Pittsburgh Steelers placed a franchise tag on Bud Dupree. The Browns placed the second-year tender on Kareem Hunt. Kareem Hunt, nobody's going to pay a second-round tender for Kareem Hunt. Cowboys franchise tag Dak Prescott. Kirk Cousins gets a 2-year extension. Do you know that going into his 3rd year this year, he's going to make $31 million? That's crazy, dude. They signed that guy to a 3-year, $84 million deal. I like Kirk Cousins, but he's not a franchise guy. Pats tag Joe Tunney, the left guard. The Giants, like I told you, Leonard Williams. Those are some of the things coming across the wire right now in the NFL. The Buccaneers now are the betting favorite to sign Tom Brady at -150. Patriots are +110. Chargers +600. We all know Niners and everybody else is pretty much out. So that's what's been going on there. What else do we have? What else? Thomas Jones, by the way, blasting players for not voting for the CBA, which a whole bunch of them did not vote, which is just absolutely crazy. Let me see if there's anything else.
Do the math, though. There was 2,000 people basically that voted. I guess 500 didn't. That ratio, that's 20% of the guys did not vote. Tell me how that makes any sense.
I don't know. So Mike Garafolo spilling coffee is like the highlight right now on Twitter. Charles Robinson, by the way, says Joe Tunney. Several interested teams pegged him in a deal nearing $15 million per year. There's a chance they could poke around for him as a sign and trade candidate. Problem is that they're going to want to move him outside of the division, and if Miami and the Patriots are going to make a trade, this is a guy that would like seriously improve them, you know. So Patriots, by the way, according to Matt Verderam, have $35 million in cap space. That's before Devin McCourty's deal and Joe Tunney's tag. And Tunney's tag is roughly around $14 million, and McCourty signed for $11.5 per year, but I'm sure they can structure that and lower that. So let's say they lower it to half of that. So about $19 million of your 35, let's say, is already gone if you're the Patriots. Now, those are some of the things going on here in the NFL. So there you go. All right. 786-322-1105. If you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, that's 786-322-1105. If you want to get in on the show, the other way to reach out to us is on Twitter at Big O Show. Follow us there as always, because that's like a 24-hour talk show, what we got going on there on Twitter. As let's see, what else do we have going on? Let's see. So we've got the draft canceled for fans. I canceled my stuff this weekend. I knew it was going to happen. It's just like I knew I wasn't going to Vegas. It was just going to, I lost my Pearl Jam concerts, lost the trip to Vegas. Now, I'm sure we're done also with Rockville. We have our passes. We're not even giving them away right now. We were supposed to give them away last week. And just like, not going to give them away. No, next week. Next month is when. April 8th, not May, not March.
You were talking
April.
about a full month out.
Yeah, April. We're going to give them out next month, actually, not last week. Next month,
Well,
and we're not going to give them out. Yeah.
For that.
Yeah, and we're not going to give them away either. We're not going to give them away because I'm sure they're going to cancel it in the next couple of weeks. They'll announce it. I mean, the CDC just said you can't have more than 50 people hanging around each other for 2 months. Okay. March 16th. April 16th. May 16th. That's 2 months. And it's May 8, 9, and 10. Okay? We're done. We're done. Last time I checked, Rockville has slightly more than 50 people attend. Slightly, right? Slightly. Just a little bit more, right?
Times that by like 1,000.
Just a little bit more. There are 50 people. There's more than 50 people in the media tent. Okay? In the freaking media tent. All right? That's how it is there. Oh, man. I love it. I love it. All right. And this is going to test us. And I tell you, free agency is going to help us on the show this week. I mean, it's been carrying the show as it is. It's Corona and free agency. There's nothing else to talk about at all. Everything else is Corona related. You know what I mean? Because it's the thing that's changing all of our lives. And now you've got the NBA. Now they're preparing to not play basketball for 3 months. They're going to now assess all their financial costs of shutting down the season. They're also going to see restricting the game with no fans in the arena, but play the games but without fans, or playing games with fans. So we're going to find out about all these plans. They're going to check it out. Playing with fans won't happen for a long time. By the time you're able to play with fans, it's going to roll over into a point that you're into the football season. So that would be a problem for them. And I know what they've been talking about, that maybe this resets the calendar for basketball, which, by the way, I love the talk of starting basketball at the beginning of the year. So it goes deep into the summer and then football starts. I think that would be phenomenal. I think that would be the greatest thing out there. Okay? I think your ratings would even go up in the summers because more people are off. They have time to watch. They can even watch the West Coast games. I think you'll even have more East Coast people watching West Coast games because you'll have your teachers and your kids that are off during the summers. So I actually feel it would be a real benefit. You know how cool it would be that the NBA Finals finish and then the NFL season starts? Oh, my Lord. That would be fantastic. NBA season takes us right through August, right through brutal preseason. And then NFL starts. That would be so fantastic. And that would give the NHL its own stage when they have their Stanley Cup and you're not kind of competing with the NBA. And for a nice stretch of time, we don't have a Heat and a Panthers game the same night. Because the Panthers never really make the playoffs, so that's 2 months short there. So then they'll have those 2 months and the rest of the summer, and they won't conflict, which is really, really nice. I don't know what's going to happen, but when you add the China losses, wow. I mean, the NBA, they say that their cap is going to take a monster hit next year, which, by the way, let's throw this out there. Let's be completely selfish now. Cap gets hurt next year. So less restrictions, less movement, all of that. Guess what, folks? Next year wasn't the year for the Heat anyway. Next year's the year that is a bad year for free agency. So Miami gets to go through that offseason, and they don't have a lot of competition. They don't lose out on a lot. And then the following year in 2021 is when they have their cap space and when they can go after Giannis and whoever else is available. Bradley Beal, whatever craziness that they can try to go after, whoever is out there. Selfishly, the next year that's going to be a crippling year, thank the Lord that's not the year that the Heat was counting on, because then that would hurt them. The following year, they get to get back on track again. So it's not too bad there. What else did I read? Also, for now, they plan to return to games without fans. Teams have been told now to search for dates into August. Now, the good thing for them is that most of those concerts that they have in those arenas that conflict are not going to conflict because a lot of those concerts have been canceled. Or they're in the process of being canceled. As you heard David Crosby talk about that, because he's like, okay, this is just through April, but when they start May, they're really going to screw me over. I mean, that's the thing. This coronavirus, it's screwing all of us in so many ways, because we have people that are going to go bankrupt because of this. We have people that are going to lose their businesses because of this. Not only do we have people losing their lives because of this, but we also have people that financially are going to be crippled because of this. It's terrifying. It really is. Oh, and let me throw something out there for some people, because China is starting to turn the corner of supposedly from their attack on the coronavirus, where it originated. Now, remember, the thing that China's doing and Italy's doing that we have yet to do is they went with the mandatory shutdown. We have yet to do that. And we keep saying, well, we'll use, social distancing and we're not doing that. Last time I checked, hundreds of thousands of people were crammed into Disney. Thousands and thousands of people were crammed at South Beach. That's not social distancing. Not sure if you saw this. Again, the good thing is I over-prepare. Did you see where Guns N' Roses was yesterday? They had a full-fledged festival in Mexico.
Huh?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
In Mexico.
In Mexico. Yeah. I mean, this is why we are saying, well, it's not just Mexico. I'm just saying.
The water down there kills the coronavirus.
But my point is, Mexico.
Maybe a Corona beer kills Corona.
My point is, Mexico, South Beach, it doesn't matter. We're irresponsible idiots. Walt Disney World. Hey, think about this. Why did you have to go to Disney World? Were you just really? You had to go to Disney? Is it closing down forever or something? Is it never going to be open again? So hundreds of thousands of people said, let's cram ourselves like sardines in Disney World, where there is no social distancing in Disney World. Sorry, that does not exist. Unless you pull a Nick Cannon and a what's that called? A Nick Cannon and Mariah Carey. Again, this is just crap that's in my head, but I remember Nick Cannon reserved Disneyland for him and Mariah. Listen to me. Disneyland. They had Disneyland to themselves. I forgot how much he paid or whatever, but they did that. Okay? That's the only way that you're able to do it.
Was that on off hours, man? Was that like
yeah.
night?
Yeah. It was something like that. Yeah. Yeah. I don't think he's got that kind of money.
You're disappointing a lot of little kids, man.
Well, and they've done this a couple times for other people. Guns N' Roses played, despite the coronavirus pandemic, last night. They performed their scheduled headline set at Viva Latino Festival in Mexico City. While several artists pulled out over concerns over large gatherings and international transit, the chances of the disease spreading and people are at risk of severe suffering, Axl Rose and company delivered a 22-song performance, including their first performance of So Fine since '93. Okay? Mexican duo Rodrigo y Gabriela announced that all of their performances in Mexico had been postponed. British band Mogwai said their no-show was a result of the current international travel risks associated with COVID-19. However, Bloomberg reported that the organizers had not been told to shut it down by the Mexican government. Although authorities had postponed the nation's international Tijuanes Turístico event, our position is to carry on with the festival because we think it would be irresponsible not to. Okay. It would be irresponsible not to. Think about that line right there. No, it's completely responsible to cram thousands of people together so they can sneeze and sweat and cough and wheeze all over each other. Yeah, no, of course. It makes all the sense in the world. Yeah, now joints being passed. Yeah, of course. All makes sense. Yeah, bodily fluids being shared all over. Yeah, no, of course. That's what we're talking about. So, there you go. Doesn't matter if it's Mexico, doesn't matter if it's South Beach, doesn't matter if it's Disney World. We're morons all over the place. We don't take this stuff serious, and that's why it's going to spread like wildfire. And a week from now, we're going to be in a worse position, and 3 weeks from now, we're going to be in a terrible position. Hopefully, we reach our pinnacle soon, but it's going to happen. And it's going to be down the line. It ain't going to be today. And it ain't going to be next week. It's going to be a while. And that's not me being negative. That's just me being realistic on what really is going on. Let's see. Got to give Kirk credit for swindling all that money from Washington and the Vikings. Amen, man. King Short says, somebody will give a second rounder for Hunt. No, they won't, dude. No, they won't. Remember, they just caught him with a bottle. The King Short, you're not keeping up with it, baby. They just caught the guy with an open bottle. Okay, the cops pulled him over. He had an open bottle of vodka. All right. Let's see. Myron says, freaking sucks. I was looking forward to Tool. F you, Corona. I'm with you, man. I wanted to see Tool badly. That was one. I wanted to go to multiple concerts for Tool. We were talking about it. I wanted to go to Central Florida to go see Tool also. I was going to see Tool a couple times, man. Let's see. AJ Green got tagged. Yeah, well, that's to keep Joe Burrow happy. Let's see. What else do we have?
Joe did that to him, right?
Yeah. Yep. GPP Central says, when you give those type of opinions on big sensitive things as Corona, YouTube will shut down, I think. But you're absolutely right. Businesses are hurting right now, and the only thing that will truly never stop are bills. Amen to that, dude. But I never had an issue with Chinese until they started eating dogs. My mind is ruined. Yeah, I know. I'm with you, man. How can you eat a dog, right? Yeah, I know. Yeah, I have 4 at home, man, and we treat them like gold. Let's see. What else do we have? FinFan70 says, noon, NFL tampering window begins. Yeah, well, they've been tampering for a while now. This is nothing new now. They're tampering all over the place. Are you kidding me? All right, let's take a break. It is noon. We've already done 2 hours. That's freaking amazing. We've talked to Cameron Wolf. We talked to Teron Davenport. In this hour, Greg Allman from The Athletic is going to join us. I also, in this half hour coming up, we got a bunch of things to talk about. I want to get into a little bit of the Tom Brady thing because this thing is looking like a train wreck. I will explain, okay? The other thing I want to talk about is some funny stuff that I'm watching on television right now. A couple of football notes also I want to get to. And college basketball made a very questionable decision. I mean, there's a bunch of things that I want to get to, some music news also, and then we'll continue, of course, updating you on anything going on in the world of football. Back with hour number 3 right here on the Big O Show.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver, you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com, a travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
Plus tax, tag title. It includes $8.99 dealer fee on approved credit offers and 11/10/19.
Over 1,500 Toyotas are on the ground, and truckloads of new 2020 Toyotas just keep on coming. To eliminate all 2019 models, Toyota of Hollywood is holding the ultimate 2019 model year changeover event. Make us an offer, any offer, and you can buy a Toyota at up to 50% less than their original MSRP when new and used.
50% less.
A pre-owned 2019 RAV4, not $30,000, $19,775. A pre-owned 2019 Camry LE, not $26,000, $17,775. A pre-owned 2019 Corolla LE, not $22,000, $12,775. Pay up to 50% less at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer, based on total retail sales of new Toyotas in the Southeast region for 2014 to 2018 per SET, on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
The world's biggest band is coming twice. Metallica. Headlining the Welcome to Rockville Music Festival. 2 different nights, 2 different sets. The weekend of May 8th through the 10th. Go to welcometorockvillefestival.com for all information. Get your tickets on sale right now. The one, the only Metallica. Go to welcometorockvillefestival.com.
This is the Big O Show. 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 This is the Big O Show.
Hey, don't forget the show is proudly brought to you by Mudias Dental. Yeah. Invisalign and implant experts. I got my Invisaligns on. In fact, I got my my appointment tomorrow at Mudias Dental. Probably go with the next level of Invisaligns. Call them 305-821-0231. That's 305-821-0231. I can barely hear it inside my headphones. I don't know if you can raise my headphones. Raise my headphones in there a little bit there. And call them 305-821-0231 for MudiasDental.com. So if you're looking to clean the teeth, cavities, get a filling, Invisalign, straighten them out, I'm telling you, call them. 305-821-0231 or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Mudias Dental. All right. If you want to reach out to us, you can on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, 786-322-1105. That's 786-322-1105. At 12:30, we're going to talk to Greg Allman from The Athletic. So we'll have a little fun with Greg. We'll talk the Bucs, since the Bucs now could be the lead dogs for Tom Brady. No Jameis Winston. Where the hell is Jameis Winston going to go now? So we'll see. Now, this whole Tom Brady thing, is this blowing up in his face? Right? Is this like the exploding cigar? Tom Brady's sitting back. He lit up the cigar. He's got a smile on his face. I'm going into free agency, and I'm the GOAT. I've won 6 titles. Well, wait a minute. Hold on a second. Tennessee's got a game manager. I mean, the beat writer called him a game manager. Right? So they felt that they needed to sign their game manager and give him 91 guaranteed over Tom Brady. And I know Tom Brady's numbers declined this year, and I know the talent around him wasn't very good either on offense. But then San Francisco was that other team, his hometown. And if you listen to Chris Sims was talking about, the Tom Brady decision, right? And I want you to listen to Chris Sims here talk about it. Now, remember, this was reported before Tennessee had agreed to their deal with Ryan.
Yo, what's up? We don't know when free agency is going to start quite yet, but we do know that Tom Brady is still the #1 topic involved in the free agency talk. Well, I've talked to a number of people throughout the NFL and got some information on the Brady free agency situation. Here's the big news to me. All right. The 49ers are out on Tom Brady. That is not going to happen. In my understanding, it was Tom Brady's #1 choice was to go to San Francisco and be the starting quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers. I don't know what happened, but something happened in the last few days to my understanding, to find out that the 49ers are out on Tom Brady and they will be standing pat with Jimmy Garoppolo as their starting quarterback. Also, what I think a lot of people are finding out, and this is not breaking news, but I have heard from a number of people too throughout the NFL that say the Tennessee Titans they're all in on Ryan Tannehill. They are no longer interested in the Tom Brady conversation. I don't know what happens if contract talks go south with Ryan Tannehill, but as I know it from multiple people, Tennessee wants to make it happen with Ryan Tannehill and build something there with him as the starting quarterback. Now, back to Brady, all right? I think it is down to this. From everything I've heard, it's down to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the New England Patriots. All right, and I don't think that the New England Patriots are going to be willing to give Tom Brady $30 million a year type of money. As we know, Bill Belichick, he drives a hard bargain. He treats it like a business, no matter who it is, even if it's the GOAT. He's not going to just give him free money. So between Tampa Bay, who I would bet is willing to spend bigger money on Tom Brady and maybe give him $30 million a year, as opposed to New England, who is probably going to offer him something in the $20 million range. And we can't forget that Brady is going to cost $13 million against the salary cap, whether he's on the team or not, for the New England Patriots this year. So that's why they want to find a manageable number. But that's where it stands as I know it right now. It's Tampa Bay or New England for Tom Brady. And if I had to pick or guess, I think ultimately he'll end up back with the New England Patriots for a very favorable contract like he's always done, so they can sign more players and make maybe one more run at this thing to where Brady could get 7 Super Bowl rings.
Now, listen, remember, he said this before Tennessee signed Ryan. So it actually adds credibility to the report, because he said Tennessee's out. They want to make it happen with Ryan. And sure enough, they did. They signed Ryan. So now he hears the Niners are out. And then, obviously, that talk is also already out that the Niners are out. So Chris he's on target here with this. And Tom Brady, maybe he and his agent thought, well, teams are going to be lining up. They're not. The GOAT is not getting a bunch of suitors. This is completely blown up in his face, because you have no leverage now. You realize that, right? Tom Brady has no leverage. Guess who looks better and better and better every single day here in the negotiation part of it? Bill Belichick. Because he wanted to get off your gravy train 2 years ago. The owner didn't let him get off the gravy train. And by the way, have I not been telling you for a couple of months now? Didn't I give you my theory on all of this? That what happened 2 years ago, Belichick's like, okay, I'm going to back off now. We'll get rid of Garoppolo and we'll keep Brady. But when this comes around again, you have to give me my due now. And I think that's why the owner's not even getting in the way right now. And that's why this has gone where it's gone. And like Chris Sims says, it's going to offer you $20 million. So Brady's going to take more and going to go to Tampa? Now, if I start to compare offensive talent on Tampa and offensive talent in New England, there is no comparison. Tampa Bay is ahead by miles and miles and miles. You're throwing to Mike Edmonds and Godwin? Are you kidding me? You have 2 tight ends. The only thing you don't have is a dominant running game. That's the only thing they need to draft is a running game, and the O-line is not that good. You may have to add a piece or two. But the weapons are way better in Tampa. It's not even close what he has in Tampa. But you are going to the unknown. You're now going to learn a new system. Now this coach has to adjust to what you do. You have to learn an entire new team. You got to get to know a whole bunch of guys. It's not a comfort zone thing. So now you got to get out of your comfort zone and you got to go to Tampa. And this whole plan that he might have had, it's completely exploded on him. This is not what he wanted. He thought maybe he would have several teams and he could play one against the other. He can't play. You know the Patriots aren't going to be suckered into this. They're not going to be like, oh, yeah, Tom, you want to take that deal? Go ahead. That's who Belichick. Now, hey, listen, Belichick may never make the playoffs again. Maybe he gets exposed now without Brady and whatever, and it's done. I don't know. But that's not what he's thinking. You and I know that. Okay? I'm not breaking any news, and I'm not giving you any new insight here on this one. You and I know that Belichick is out to prove that he can win without Brady like he did without Parcells. And Brady, to a certain extent, I think wants to prove he can do it without Belichick. Now, you are going to a coach that has maximized other quarterbacks in the past. Okay? Jameis Winston, I can't blame him because Jameis is what he is. Doesn't matter who's going to coach you, Jameis is going to be a knucklehead no matter what. Can't blame Arians for that. But all the other guys, they did better under him. So maybe Brady can go there with that kind of confidence that you've got a hell of a coach there that understands quarterbacks in Bruce Arians.
Last week I had heard Arians, second year with a quarterback, their stats from touchdowns and interceptions improves immensely. That's second year under Arians. So a couple people were pointing out that, you know, if you've seen the pattern from the previous, and it's two of them, that, you know, Jameis's interception total should improve if he comes back.
Right. Yeah. No, I got to see that to believe it when it comes to Jameis Winston, because Jameis Winston's too much of a knucklehead, and this is something that he has done every year. He doesn't take care of the football. All right. Let's see. What do we have here? King Short says, oh, my bust. Oh, I don't know what that means. Michael Mata says, the year I get season tickets for 2020 Dodgers, this coronavirus happens. Fins Fan 70 says, NFL public draft events are canceled. Draft will televise. Yes, they will. GPP Central says, who Dolphins drafting chat? I think we go with Andrew Thomas at 5, another tackle at 18, and best O-line available at 26. O-line or D-line. Okay. Build up the lines. I got no problem with that. Fin Fan also 70 says Vikings agreed a 2-year deal with Cousins. Yes, which is ridiculous, but whatever. That's Rick Spielman. What are you going to do? Bromar Smelly says take a chance on Tua. You never know. He might stay healthy. Hey, Bromar, you gotta feel like they probably will take that chance at number 5. And I understand. I may not agree with it, but I understand it. I get it. You're so butthurt about Drew Brees, and if the kid turns out to be something, then you win, and if you don't, it is what it is. But what are you going to do? Brady is the GOAT and will stay with the Pats and get number 7, past Brees' touchdown record, all the while turning 43. Well, they got to improve that offense drastically. Dougie Fresh says, I can't stand Belichick, but he is teaching the pretty boy what a killer looks like. And I agree with GPP. He wants to be Breeze for that record. Moneyman says, so what are we going to do since Tunney got signed? Well, this is why I tell you guys to not waste a lot of time talking in free agency. That's why I didn't talk Joe Tunney every single day and how much the Dolphins should go after him, because I don't know if he's going to become available or not. and he's not available. So all those people that were writing articles about Joe Tunney, anybody that on their radio show they were talking about Joe Tunney constantly, they ended up wasting their time. Once the tag is done, now we know who's available. Now we can talk about those guys. Okay? So that's what we'll do. Let's see, what else do we have? Belichick went 11-5 with Matt Castle and didn't make the playoffs that year. Thanks to who? Miami, baby. But he still won with that group and just wins defense, wins championships like the Pats. Yes, that was a pretty good team. Now, if he doesn't have Brady, they're not going to make the playoffs. Not with the team he had last year.
That number one defense, we went there the last week of the season, beat them.
Yep.
Tennessee showed up the next week and beat the number one defense again.
Yeah. Yeah, so they weren't that special when it's all said and done, because if Miami is tagging your ass and knocking you down to the wild card round, something you're not used to doing anymore because you usually get the bye week, that tells you weren't that special. No Brady. The Patriots don't make the playoffs without Brady. That team wasn't that good, actually. It wasn't as good as people talked it up, like, including myself. By the way, that I talked up that defense, and that defense did not show up at the end.
You know what's one I really didn't like,
What?
We saw Calais Campbell got the contract with Baltimore, and they put up his age. He's 34 years old,
Yep.
I was like, what? The guy just got in the NFL, And like, yeah, 34, huh? Yeah, we're getting old. That sucked.
Party Keg 69 says, "Are we still going to party in Vegas?" No, sir. We are. Yes, we are going to party in Vegas. Raiders, Dolphins. That's when we party in Vegas, folks. That's when we make up our trip. Now, here we go. Okay? This is very important. I want you guys to take notes now. Okay, let's hope the wives and the girlfriends aren't watching right now. Okay? Are we ready now? Let's take notes. Honey, damn, this coronavirus is really changing our lives. Are you all right? Do you have everything you need? All right, that's fantastic. I appreciate your letting me go to Vegas, sweetheart. Do you know they canceled the trip? Oh, really, honey? They canceled the trip? Yeah, it sucks, man. You know how much I love the Dolphins and I love the draft, and I won't be able to enjoy, the atmosphere, the football fans. Oh, sweetheart, I feel so bad for you. I know how much you love it. But, sweetheart, I was thinking about this. A lot of Dolphins, they're going to get together for the Dolphins and the Raiders for the regular season game. You don't mind if I move this trip for the draft over to that date when the Dolphins visit the Raiders, and I can go out there with all the Dolphins and party? Sure, honey, why not? You were going to go out to Vegas for the draft. Do it now for that. At least you get to see the Dolphins in the new stadium. Boom. Instead of, that if we all would have gone to Vegas, then you have to explain to the wife or girlfriend, I want to go again because the Dolphins are visiting the Raiders. Now, you use this excuse to get you into the other one. There you go. So we'll show up like on a Wednesday or something like that, party for a couple days, go to the game on Sunday, and have some fun. There you go. So that's how you do it, folks. Okay, I'm just trying to give you some tips here. I am a facilitator of fun. So let's just try to get around this thing by using this depressing part to open the door for the other one. Is
this a shell game?
Yeah, she'll have sympathy for you that you lose out on what you wanted to do. But then she can help you feel better because she'll understand and let you go to the other Vegas trip to make up for this one. Aw, the poor baby couldn't go to the draft and enjoy his Dolphins. And I know he loves the Dolphins. But you know what? Since he loves the Dolphins so much, I'll let him go to the Dolphins Raiders to make up for this trip. There you go. You're all welcome. Okay? You're all welcome. All right? And when you in Vegas, just because of the corona stuff, don't hug me and thank me. Just say, thanks, O. That's all. No hugs. No, maybe a little elbow rub or something, but no hugs. We got to stay corona free. All right. Anyway. 786-322-1105. If you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, that's 786-322-1105. If you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, don't forget that the show is proudly brought to you by Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealership 6 years in a row in the Southeast United States. That's why you want to get on down there. Over 1,500 cars and trucks. That's called the selection. It's a beautiful thing. It's not like you pull up, hey, yeah, let me see your Tundras. Well, we got 2 of them there you can pick from. Huh? No. Now you got a ton to pick from. A ton of Tundras. All right? So you can pick the car you want, the color you want, the model you want, the style you want, and even the color you want. I'm telling you, they got it all for you at 1841 North State Road 7. It is Toyota of Hollywood. Tell them that Big O sent you. They will definitely take care of you. All right. We got something else I definitely want to talk about before we go to the break and talk to Greg Ullman from The Athletic covering the Tampa Bay Bucks and the possibilities of Tom Brady headed there. So, explain to me what's going on at Iona College. They hired Rick Pitino. Yeah. The dude that had, his players, with prostitutes, that his assistant coaches were getting a hose for him, right? The dude that was at a restaurant hanging out with some fellas at the table, and there was a girl under the table servicing him. You know what I'm talking about. I mean, really, was Rick Pitino trying out for Motley Crue? Because that was kind of the test of Motley Crue. They would be at the Rainbow hanging out, right? And they would invite somebody over to their table, and there was always a girl under the table that was servicing them. And then that girl would then try to service the new person. And if the new person got up and got uncomfortable, they didn't trust that person. So they never trusted their record manager because he got up. But I don't know if it was a singer or guitarist from, now I'm forgetting the name, Hanoi Rocks, sat down and he was like, oh, whoa, I love how Americans live. And so, if you haven't seen The Dirt, well, The Dirt is exactly what we should consider Rick Pitino. That's exactly what he is, dirt. And when your institution of higher learning says, we want to hire Rick Pitino, come on. Is there a brothel nearby Iona College? I'm just wondering. I mean, if you're hiring Rick Pitino, there should be a brothel nearby. Right? I mean, Iona players are getting ready to get laid a lot. A ton. Okay? It's a beautiful thing. Mama, Daddy, you want your son to get laid? Send him to Iona College to play for Rick Pitino because he'll get him laid. No doubt about that. Now, Iona College, last time I checked, okay, Iona College is located somewhere in New York called New Rochelle. And New Rochelle is, under National Guard protection. So a place that's dealing with a deadly virus has brought in another deadly virus called Rick Pitino. So now you've got 2 deadly viruses in the New Rochelle area. You got Corona and you got Rick Pitino. Do they know at Iona his habits? Like, they don't want people right now fraternizing with other people. Is Rick going to be bringing over the hose? You know, that's the kind of saliva connection you don't really want with your kids at this point in time. How do you explain that? I wonder if there's an administrator that walks over and says, you hired Rick Pitino. Isn't that the guy getting a blowjob under the table at a restaurant? Isn't that the guy that had his assistant coaches hooking his players up with prostitutes? Is that the same Rick Pitino? And look, I get it. Rick is one hell of a coach. He is. He's a great coach. Bobby Knight is a great coach, a total lowlife and a scumbag, but he's a great coach. Don't you love that? Don't you love how they justify all of this? He beats women. But he can score 30 points a game. He's a drug addict. Yeah, but he averages 35 points a game. He's gotten arrested 8 times. Yeah, but he can lead the nation in assists with 15 a game and score 25 points and grab 12 rebounds. That's how we justify it all, right? So wait a minute. Isn't Rick Pitino the guy that has thoroughly embarrassed himself several times? Yeah, but he's a hell of a coach. And he is. He's a hell of a coach. I'm not ever going to argue that he's not a good X's and O's guy and he knows how to recruit, knows how to win. Rick Pitino's a hell of a coach. No doubt. Bobby Knight was a hell of a coach too. Terrible human being. But yeah, no, he can coach. Iona College hiring Rick Pitino. I just find that so despicable that you would stoop that low, that you need to win that badly, that's the guy you're going to bring. And then you're going to tell your student athletes that he is the leader of your basketball program. He's the guy that sets the example. That guy. That guy sets the example. Wow. I got to tell you, that's amazing. All right, let's take a break. Greg Allman from The Athletic. We will talk Tampa Bay football. We'll talk the future of Jameis Winston. Where the hell is he going? Because maybe Tom Brady's headed there. Greg Allman answers that next.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver, you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com, a travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
Plus tax, tech title. It includes $8.99 dealer fee on approved credit offers and 11/10/19.
Over 1,500 Toyotas are on the ground, and truckloads of new 2020 Toyotas just keep on coming. To eliminate all 2019 models, Toyota of Hollywood is holding the ultimate 2019 model year changeover event. Make us an offer, any offer, and you can buy a Toyota at up to 50% less than their original MSRP when new and used.
50% less.
A pre-owned 2019 2019 RAV4, not $30,000, $19,775. A pre-owned 2019 Camry LE, not $26,000, $17,775. A pre-owned 2019 Corolla LE, not $22,000, $12,775. Pay up to 50% less at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer, based on total retail sales of new Toyotas in the Southeast region for 2014 to 2018 per SET, on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
The world's biggest band is coming twice. Metallica. Headlining the Welcome to Rockville Music Festival. 2 different nights, 2 different sets. The weekend of May 8th through the 10th. Go to welcometo-rockvillefestival.com for all information. Get your tickets on sale right now. The one, the only Metallica. Go to welcometo-rockvillefestival.com.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
All righty, welcome back. All right, we're going to go across the state now because we got some news developing with the whole Tom Brady situation. Greg Allman does an excellent job, of course, for The Athletic, covering the Bucs on a daily basis. It looks like Tom Brady can't go to Tennessee because they've got Ryan Tannehill under contract. It looks like San Francisco's out because they're going to stick with Garoppolo. Well, Tampa Bay has not made a commitment to Jameis Winston. The question is, will they make a commitment to Tom Brady? Let's talk to Greg Allman about that. Follow him on Twitter at Greg Allman. Catch his exceptional work at The Athletic. Greg, good afternoon, my friend. How are you doing?
Doing well. Busy times, crazy times, but doing well.
Yes, it is, and I hope you stay corona-free, of course, my friend. All right, so let's start off with Tom Brady. First of all, is this the exploding cigar in his face? Because maybe he and Don Yee thought, all right, we'll have several teams interested. We can play them against each other. Well, we're watching the dominoes fall. Tennessee's gone. San Francisco's gone. The Raiders, really, we weren't taking that serious. The Bucs are the only team we're now really taking serious. And we don't know how serious the Patriots are. So this whole thing for Brady, before we get to the Bucs, it's not really working out the way I think he and Don Yee planned.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I mean, I never really took San Francisco all that seriously. I mean, I think that's something that came up over there and was kind of shot down over there. They got a good thing with Jimmy Garoppolo. I mean, I think, most of the league would see Tom Brady as an upgrade, but when you have a team coming off of the year they had, going to the Super Bowl, I don't know that you change. It's a lot like Tennessee that way. I mean, I think they had a good thing in Tannehill. So, I don't know. It's like in terms of other teams that are left, I'm still not sold on the Raiders being out of the picture. I think the Chargers moving into a new stadium and trying to establish themselves as a player in Los Angeles would make a lot of sense. But yeah, the team you certainly hear the most here is the Bucs, and they've let Jameis Winston get to free agency for the chance to talk to guys like Brady and Bridgewater and Rivers and these other types. So it'll be a busy 48 hours here between now and when they can actually sign something.
All right, Greg. So what's your gut tell you, my brother? What direction are the Bucs going to go in? Who do they end up with is what I got to ask.
Yeah, I mean, right now, just the way they've handled things, I would be surprised if Winston is back right now. And I think if they miss out on multiple options, I mean, if Brady stays in New England and somebody else gets to Bridgewater, Indy gets to Rivers, there's certainly scenarios where there's not a better option out there and they come back and they get him for less. We don't really know how Winston's going to take the Bucs, looking at other quarterbacks. I mean, is he insulted by that where he goes somewhere else? There's not really a lot of other options for him that would give him a clear path to a starting job in the NFL right now.
All right. So when you look at the Brady thing, why do you think it's a good fit for the Bucs?
I don't know that it is a good fit. I mean, for the Bucs, if you thought that quarterback was where you had to take the biggest step forward, Jameis Winston made a lot of plays last year, but he also had 30 interceptions and lost 5 fumbles. So I mean, I think that's something that can really set a team back. Tom Brady, even at 43, as he'll be this fall, is going to play at a higher level than that. I think it's going to bring a lot of interest to the team, probably more so than any player they've ever added in their existence. So you have a national relevance all of a sudden, even if it's just people wondering how much Brady's going to drop off at age 43. So from a financial standpoint, I mean, he's going to add a lot more people, probably double the number of people immediately that care about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Right.
The harder sell is why Tom would come to Tampa.
Right. And so let me ask you, is the plan, if they get Tom, do you see them still maybe going after a quarterback in the draft, or are they going to focus completely on surrounding Brady with the proper talent? I mean, they've already got it, I would say, at wide receiver and tight end. Maybe running back's the only thing they really need to improve along with the line. So how do you think they approach this offseason? Do they go, if they're able to get Brady, do they plan also for the future, or do they just go all in?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, obviously, you remember you sign a quarterback who's turning 43 years old. You want to have a plan B in place. I don't know whether it means using a top pick on a quarterback. I think they're probably more likely to draft a right tackle on someone who's going to keep him in the game and upright and healthy. But, yeah, I mean, I think, with Winston, they haven't really had to care much about a backup because he's been there pretty much, except for suspension and a little bit with injury this past year. He's been their guy for 5 years. So, maybe having an older quarterback, having a guy who could drop off more, you start thinking about plan B and having a quarterback in place as a draft pick. But at the same time, Bruce Arians has kind of been consistent in saying that he doesn't really like quarterback competition. He wants to have a sure starter. What you would be doing is making yourself better as an injury backup, as an insurance plan, should something happen to Brady if they did that.
Greg, one of the things that I think about why this Brady thing is going to end up happening is you have a coach that I don't think is a long-term coach either. I don't think Bruce is going to be there a long, long time. You tell me, you're around it a lot more than I am. He's had his health issues too. I think he wants to get over that hump, and he needs to get there as quickly as possible. And if he thinks Brady still has a year or two left, that's probably what he's got left, pretty much, is a few years. So
I would think that's some of what he. Yeah, I would think that's some of what he sells Tom Brady on is hey, I want to have 2 really good years. I want to compete for a championship, and I feel like you're a guy that can do that. It's weird because you don't know what Brady's motivations are. I mean, he's had an amazing career all in one place. And I don't think you go somewhere else unless you feel like you can win championships where you go. It's like if all he did was come to Tampa and get them in the playoffs for the first time in 13 years, that doesn't really register much nationally. That's going to be people wondering why he finished his career in another uniform. So, but if he thinks he can win a championship here, if he thinks he can get out of the shadow of Bill Belichick and win the title on his own, especially with a team that doesn't have much of a postseason history, that would be compelling. That would be something I think that would resonate with him. But again, he has to think that the Bucs, as a team that went 7-9 last year, can take a big step forward. Probably this year. I don't think you do it thinking about 2 years from now. I think you do it thinking about what you could be this year in 2020.
So Greg, if Jameis is gone, where do you think he ends up? Who wants him? Who takes a chance on him as a starter, or does somebody bring him in to be a backup? Obviously, Jameis doesn't view himself as a backup, so that would be really challenging too. So who do you see opening the doors for Jameis and trying him out and saying, I can change him?
Yeah, it's hard to see. I mean, you have to look at the number of teams that just don't have themselves committed to a quarterback already. So that could be something like Chicago, in terms of bringing in someone who would be an immediate challenger to Mitch Trubisky as they decide to move forward with him. After that, it would have to be a team that's going to make the decision not to jump on a rookie. I mean, you look at teams like Miami or the Chargers that are generally paired with a Tua or Herbert in the draft, and maybe they like that but want to kind of have another option in-house that maybe can be a starter so you don't have to count on a rookie right away. So those are places that make sense for me. There's not a lot of teams that aren't, in one way or another, tethered to another quarterback, be it a $20 million contract or a recent high draft pick. But I do think there are some teams where if they weren't sold on, especially if they weren't sold on the options for rookies at the very top of this draft. If you didn't think that Tua or Herbert were going to be the guy, then Winston's someone you can get relatively inexpensively compared to what some of these quarterbacks are going for today, at least.
Greg Allman, of course, who covers the Bucs on a daily basis for The Athletic, is joining us. You can follow him on Twitter at Greg Allman. And by the way, I love your suggestion of the Bears because I'm not a Trubisky guy as it is. That would be if somehow or another Nagy can figure him out, and which is going to be tough, but whatever. But, I mean, as a passer, we can't compare Trubisky to Winston. Winston is 1,000 times better. It's just his decision-making. Then you brought up the Chargers. How about the Colts? That could be also another option, right? Because Brissett he's a nice quarterback, but you can tell that he's not a franchise guy. Whereas you're talking about a quarterback guru in Frank Reich. I think this guy's one of the best there is at working with quarterbacks. Another guy that maybe says, maybe I can reach Jameis.
Right, and that makes sense. I mean, I think with Reich and with the Colts, what you hear right now first is the guys that he's worked with. I mean, he had 3 years as an assistant with Philip Rivers in San Diego. His offensive coordinator, Nick Sirianni, was there for 5 years with Rivers. If that doesn't work out, I mean, he won a Super Bowl with Nick Foles, and Nick Foles is a guy who's going to be available from the Jaguars if they want to make a trade and take on